The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey!
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Draft Spectacular Week, Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024. This program starts now.
Sports!
Are the greatest.
Yeah.
Sports are the absolute greatest thing from January through December, and put it on loop back to back to back for generations and generations and generations. Obviously, when football is in season, we're talking about the highest ratings in the history of television. And then what's the offseason going to be? Oh, no, it's going to be boring. It's going to be filled with a bunch of bullshit fodder about things that are never going to happen. We're going to have to work ourselves up to care about stuff that we don't actually care about. We're going to have to fake talk about stuff that doesn't matter and act like it matters. Well, that's not this particular offseason.
No.
Because the NBA and the NHL and the WWE are showing up for us day after day after day. Last night was electrifying. I got a chance to catch up with all the games on my flight back home and then into the night last night. Are you kidding me? NBA with a couple thrilling endings. A Reggie Miller situation for the Knicks this time instead of against the Knicks. And then Jamal Murray of the reigning, defending, undisputed NBA champions battling against the LeBron-led Lakers, who were once up 20 in this game. On Anthony Davis, one of the defenders of the year. Fade away, bucket. Game over. Nuggets up 2-0. Got Kendrick Perkins, who will be joining our show today in the second hour, saying, yeah, who is your daddy? Los Angeles Lakers. They were up 10 going into the fourth. They have another fumble of the bag, and now they're down 2-0. Kendrick Perkins says the test results are in. The Denver Nuggets, you are the father. And then all of a sudden you got we told you, we told you, and then dad, no. Just a terrible thing of what a father is supposed to be on television for all of us to enjoy. But we all get the reference and the gift that right now, what happens at the end of the year last year between the Lakers and the Nuggets, where there was some, our show played a part of it.
Yep.
Some chirping. There was.
We were only on the internet at the time, so I understand that maybe a lot of people didn't see it, but Coach Malone came on a program and, understood about the LeBron faked retirement potentially to cover up for his team just getting their asses beat by the Denver Nuggets for yet again, and Joker being what he is. And then all of a sudden LeBron answers from France, and then Anthony Davis jumps in, and then the Nuggets do what? They show up and do exactly what they've done since Joker has seemingly come alive, and that is just be a dominant basketball team in the playoffs. And in the NHL, are you kidding me? Austin Matthews, friend of the program, 69 goals this season. Was on a hunt for 70.
Yep.
70 would have put him in a altitude that not a lot of people have made it. Got close, 69.
Classic.
He had a big one last night. Hand, stick, deke,
Holy hell.
net. How you doing? Keep it moving. I mean, it was Stoner came back for the Vegas Golden Knights. He scored 23 seconds in his return. Here's Pablo, they call him. Hand, ice, stick, goals. Awesome. Sports are incredible right now. Hockey is awesome. Basketball is relevant. And we're lucky to be here every single day. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Love the shirt, pal. I like seeing a nice Mustang run in front of the American flag. But I think what you're trying to showcase is we're 2 days away from the Draft Spectacular.
Amen. Exactly. That's what we're focused on.
American dreams are coming true. Global dreams are coming true just 2 days away from now. Boston Connor.
Yeah, and I cannot wait. That is kind of where all the sights are set. Obviously, the sports last night were incredible. But look at that. I mean, it's hard not to see see that man in that maroon jacket.
Yeah,
Bill
he should be at the front of this graphic now that I think about it. And I don't think I've ever taken a photo with my arms fully crossed. So Derek, graphic designer, might have drew my hands in there.
Sure. Twisted them
as to make it look a little bit more
smaller than they probably should.
Well, no, that's good. I have been trying to lose a little weight. TSD right around the corner.
No, the hands.
Shredded.
Oh, yeah, hands, yes. Hands, interesting, whatever he's doing. We should put the man that has that top 100 jacket on in the front. I did a little research about this top 100 jacket. Have you?
Oh, yeah.
So this is better than gold jacket.
Oh.
This is like, Deion Sanders talked about how he thinks there should be different floors of the Hall of Fame or like different levels of the Hall of Fame. I think they made it whenever they made this top 100 thing. I think there's like 70 people that are alive that have the jacket.
Oh.
And him having one. That was another thing, like, that was taken, I think, at the Super Bowl whenever they were given that jacket.
Sure. Yeah.
I looked at the photo, seen the photo, and I saw the jacket, and I remembered the jacket, and I'm like, this feels like that jacket seems to be pretty.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Massive.
Yeah.
The jacket is a massive ordeal. There's not a lot of current superstars or humans that we know that have it. It's like, I'm happy we got a photo of him rocking that. Just a nice little reminder. Just a nice little reminder. They picked 100 players, 8 coaches, 108 people in the history of this entire league. Yeah, and I was also one of the ones that was deciding who was in that.
That's right.
I didn't want to vote me in, but everybody else needed me or wanted me to, because greatest coach, greatest GM of all time will be joining us from 7:30 until 4 a.m. on Thursday.
Yeah,
That is
just
correct.
about.
As that first round wraps up. At Ty Schmidt, the Green Bay Packers, obviously a little later in the draft than I think any of us could have expected going into last year. Jordan Love is the dude. But in the NFC North, it feels like the Minnesota Vikings are going to be the most active on Thursday night if you listen to any of the insiders. Now, we'll be talking to Peter Schrager here in a matter of moments. Does it worry you that everybody around the NFC North is seemingly getting better and active and hunting? I mean, the Lions just released new uniforms.
Hell yeah. Awesome
And they're
uniforms.
sick.
The Chicago Bears, they got the number 1 overall pick. They're picking Caleb Williams.
And 9.
In the Minnesota Vikings, they're making a move to up to go ahead and
yeah,
get better.
so
Does that
too.
worry you? Is the Packers just kind of the only team not really being chatted around draft season here?
Not really. A couple years ago, I would have maybe said that. As Rodgers, we kind of knew that he was going to be on his way out eventually. But the Packers found their quarterback. Like, the Bears are hoping that Caleb Williams is going to be the guy, and the Vikings, whoever they end up getting, whether it's J.J. McCarthy or Drake May or whoever they might get, they're hoping he's like. Packers found their guy, and they also have one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Like, those guys are just going to continue to play together, get better, and hopefully, they're picking a little bit later in the draft, that, like you mentioned, than anyone really expected. But there's still a couple holes that I think they could find guys who could have an immediate impact next year. Again, I'm obviously holding out for Cooper DeJean, but there's also some other guy, Bakhtiari's not there anymore. So, there are a couple things they can do, but no, I wouldn't say I'm worried. I think the Packers are in an excellent spot going into
Okay,
next
as
year.
we pivot away from the draft just 2 days from now to talk about the NBA and the NHL playoffs, let's look at a stat that one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Tone Diggs, might be intrigued by. NBA home teams in the playoffs, not playing, but the actual playoffs, 11-0.
Yep.
Straight up 8-3 against the spread. And I forget who we had on, maybe Steve Levy talked about how basketball, there seems to be a home court advantage because they're on top of you, and maybe the sight lines are a little bit different than being home. He didn't expect it for the NHL, even though home teams have been winning in the NHL as well in the playoffs. But it's like this NBA trend we're seeing. I mean, we're hammering, right? I mean, this is going to continue. That's what we're expecting here, Tone Diggs?
Yeah, 100%. And like,
Whoa, can't 100% anything.
Yeah.
No.
Jeez, Tony.
Yeah, definitely thinking about it.
Well, if anybody takes me seriously, that's on them. If they want to bet their own money on something I say, that's on them. Because
That's
that's
married with a
gambling.
kid.
Agreed.
Yep.
Married with a kid.
I'm with the sentiment, though.
You know how I feel about gamblers and then blaming other people for them placing their bets.
Oh, you're saying
Anyways.
when you do this one here?
Yeah.
When you put a finger out to point at somebody,
You forced me to bet this and lose my money.
but actually there's 3 going back at you right here, But also there is still this one.
Yeah.
So you did affect it. And giving out picks was the worst thing we've done, okay? Me, personally. The worst I've ever felt in my life is when we had to, I agreed to do it, so it's on me. But, to give out picks publicly, how many was that the Super Bowl? 200 and what?
It's like over
70,
250,000. Yeah.
275 or something.
We don't remember the 200 and some thousand.
I think it was 230,000, if I remember.
I like what we did there, though.
Ballpark.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Foxy.
700,000.
I think
Son
so.
of a bitch back there.
700,000. So 230,000. It was a lot. Once we saw it get to 150,000, it was like, oh no, here, right?
Yeah.
Because we're talking maybe biggest win of all time. But if that thing doesn't win, you got a lot of people telling you how bad of a human you are.
Yeah.
So we would like it to be on the record of stating that whenever we say we like something, and mostly when Tone and Gumpy say it, don't feel obligated.
No.
Just a nice little piece of information to do what you got to do. With that being said, it would be nice to hit those publicly projected bets every once in a while. Last year, we went 1 in 16, I think.
Yeah.
One time we got to celebrate with people.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time.
Great time. 2 years ago, I'm sorry, that happened. And then we said, we're not doing this anymore. My shins just got beat. That's why I had to buy these.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and fashion.
I had to buy these. Protect my shins. I was getting killed out there.
Super
so you never
loud.
say 100%.
No, you don't. But in the NBA, like Levy said, as far as the NHL kind of found its level last night as far as home and away teams. I believe they split. But the first round of the NBA notoriously is just all about the favorites because of how top heavy the NBA has been in the last decade or so. So like the home teams, I'm not super surprised. But this year it was supposed to be the year where there was more parity in the NBA than ever. So this year it is a little more surprising. It's going to be interesting to see when these lower seeded teams get their home games, these next 2 games, to see if it stays the same. But no, the NBA crowds have been awesome.
Yeah, like the Pacers when they come back home.
Correct.
Exactly. Dame Time's not shooting at a bigger hoop.
No.
How about DiVincenzo last night just going bananas?
Splash.
I mean, and then what's his name? Hartenstein. Hartenstein. Big board, jumps
all over the place,
hovers over people at the end. I mean, obviously, Brunson hasn't his best games, but gets a Kawhi Leonard bounce to knock down a 3 to make it a 2-point game, and then his pressure leads to a turnover on the inbound. He had a timeout. Did he call it? Well, he said he did. He pump faked it out there, and then he said he didn't. And DiVincenzo brick, but look at. Boom!
There he is.
Big board. And they knock it down. I mean, you give an NBA guy 2 shots at it. They're going to make it.
Totally how it goes.
And this is, you remember the Reggie Miller situation with the Knicks just completely reverted. And Hartenstein, on the other end, has a block coming up, too. Like, he tracks down and has a massive block. What an electrifying finish for Ben Stiller and the boys there. And Carmelo, and not that guy. All right, what a night for NBA. Let's pivot away from basketball and hockey. Let's go to Thursday night with friend of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is an Emmy Award-winning host of Good Morning Football on NFL Network. They're back, I think.
When?
Are they?
For the draft.
Oh, okay.
I think they're back. If I read the lower third on a cell phone video that they've been putting out on the internet.
I saw that as well.
Okay, they're back for the draft. I believe there's going to be some special editions. Kyle Brandt, Schrager.
Nice.
They've been doing selfie videos through the draft thing because you're talking about people that have been plugged into the NFL so closely, and then all of a sudden we don't have an outlet for this thing. We should take advantage of our social. They've been making videos. I've been loving it. But I think Good Morning Football is back on Thursday, which is great news because hopefully we'll get to see this man back with the team, even if he doesn't decide to fly to Cali because he's the king of New York.
Hell yeah.
Peter Schrager.
Yeah, Schrager.
Schrager, that was the exact setup of the video that I saw. You were recording like a podcast, put it out on the Good Morning Football socials, and I think across the bottom it said Good Morning Football is back for the draft. Is that accurate?
That's absolutely right. We're going to be on Thursday morning, Friday morning, and Saturday morning before day 3. And Kyle and I will be in Detroit. So we're super excited.
Boom.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yes. Good Morning Football's back. Back again. GMFB's back.
That's it.
Tell them,
Eminem's
right.
going to sing that exact song in Detroit. So we're ready.
Really? We've tried to reach out to see if he would stop by the program with a understanding that that's definitely a no, but who would we be?
Why do you say that?
Why is that?
I think 100%. If you guys can get Goodell, you can get Belichick and get Caitlin Clark in studio. I don't think Eminem in Detroit is the craziest thing for the Pat McAfee show.
Well, the Fever drafted Caitlin Clark, so she came to Indianapolis. So that was.
And they're doing a lot.
Because remember, we flew to Iowa, couldn't.
Yep.
Couldn't
land the bird.
So there's a lot of that. I don't know how many interviews Eminem's doing just in his life. I think he's only made like $4 billion or something like that. But we'd be pumped in Detroit, pumped to get up there. Excited you and Kyle Brandt are going to be back on our TVs in the morning, live from Detroit. Let's talk about Detroit. Draft Spectacular is going to be gigantic. First round's going to be electrifying. That's what we're hearing. You put out your final mock when? Tomorrow.
Yeah, going to get posted tomorrow night, right before the draft on Thursday. And I've been on the phones nonstop for the last 48 hours, including this morning. I've got some interesting updates on what I'm thinking based on last week. And the feedback I'm getting, there will be trades. There will be trades up. There will be trades down. And the quarterbacks are going to be very, very, very much in play. And I'm not talking just the top 4. I think the top 6, including Penix and Knicks, all in the first half.
Okay,
Thursday
Schrags, just to stop you right there, just as a program, and we just chatted about it, Penix was minus 130 to be a first rounder last week. Where's he at now?
Minus 220.
Yeah. Okay, so that's moved quite a bit. We were able to get that, though, last week whenever we saw it because we're big fans of Penix. And with how much they're talking about needing a quarterback, needing rookie quarterback, too, because much cheaper, you see, than a veteran quarterback. It's like we thought with what his tape was, what his 40 was, and I think you were the one telling us that the medicals have come back clear on him, or maybe Schefter did. I forget who exactly said that. It's like, well, why wouldn't you want a guy that was able to lead two different? When he was at Indiana, he was winning at Indiana, and that hadn't happened in a long time. And then he goes to Washington and gets him the national championship. It's like, what are we even talking about here? This feels like a guy we'd want. And then let's talk about Bo Nix. Everybody's tying Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos. Now, Denver Broncos just make a big trade for Zach Wilson. Congrats to all parties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congrats to all parties there. But Bo Nix has been linked to the Broncos. Is that what you're hearing as well? And why are we hearing that, you think?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I would say this with the Broncos. You're looking at a team with the 12th overall pick, and, J.J. McCarthy is going to be the fourth quarterback taken. That's what I think. Does Denver move up to take J.J. McCarthy? Do they sit at 12 and take Nix or Penix? Or do they move back a little bit, and that's where they get a Nix or a Penix? But I would think the Zach Wilson trade, and 3 years ago, he was the second overall pick in the draft, and Sean Payton has thrived with guys who have been discarded by their first teams. And I'm talking about Kerry Collins. I'm talking about Drew Brees. I'm talking about Jameis Winston. I'm talking about Teddy Bridgewater. Like, I know Sean, he looks at this as like, okay, watch what I can do. And let me get my hands on Zach Wilson. So I wouldn't say they're done, though. I would say a quarterback is very much in play for the Denver Broncos in the first round of this draft.
Okay, let's talk about the first couple picks now. They're saying Jaden Daniels was on Nightcap. With Shane Sharp and Ocho, which is always electrifying. I've never seen a full episode, but I've seen clips and
they go.
They need. I love that they are doing that, and I hope that lasts forever. Here's them talking to Jaden Daniels about, Raiders relationship, and then potentially if he was to go number 2 to the Commanders.
Since we're talking about the Raiders, AP was the DC when you was at Arizona State, and this would be an opportunity if you were they made a move, because obviously you're not going to be there when they select, so they're going to have to jump over a lot of people to select you. Because you have what it's like. AP, how he is as a person, how he is as a coach. What would that be like to be reunited with a guy that you was with at Arizona State?
I don't know how they're gonna pull it off, but I mean that's above my pay grade, man. But
I wouldn't do it. I ain't trading. Why would I give up that? You're a transformational quarterback, Jay.
Man.
I ain't giving that up.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, just AP, man. AP just as a human being, he the right coach for that team. Just him and the intensity that it brings. He challenged people. He challenged me at 18. So I know if I was to go to the Raiders, I'm not saying I'm gonna go there or I want to go there. I want to go wherever my name called. But if I was to go to the Raiders, I know he go as soon as I step foot, he gonna challenge me. He don't care how high I was drafted, none of that. He gonna challenge me every day.
I want to go where my name is called. Big part of that video, I think. Also, Shannon Sharp telling Jaden Daniels, I'm not trading away my team for you, which is also a hilarious thing. Great reaction, obviously, from Jaden. There's been a lot of chatter about maybe some maneuvering happening at number 2 for Jaden to potentially go elsewhere, the Raiders. But Jaden then says, I'll be happy wherever my name's called. What are you hearing about Jaden Daniels? What are you hearing about the Commanders? And what are your thoughts on that? Is this going to go Williams, Daniels? How do you think it goes?
I think on Friday afternoon, I would have had a different conversation with you, to be honest, Pat. I feel like the last few days, things have settled a bit, and I don't know if there's been conversations with Dan Quinn or with Cliff Kingsbury, but from all the intel that I'm gathering, it sounds like Daniels 2 to the Commanders is a lot more likely now than it might have been on Friday, when it was still likely, but there was bubbles about maybe he wasn't happy about the Top Golf visit, or maybe he's trying to direct where he's going. From what I gather, and his publicist, Denise White, came out with a statement saying he will be happy to go with whatever NFL team that he will be drafted by. I feel like 2 to the Washington Commanders. If I'm going to put my name on something now, I think Jaden Daniels is going to go 2 to Washington. And then they still have 5 picks in the top 100. They can surround him with more.
Okay, and to your point, the odds yesterday for Jaden Daniels going number 2 to the Commanders is minus 180. Now it's like minus 500, something like that. So that has been one of these during this entire draft cycle, because once again, the sports books only know what we all know publicly, and what we all know publicly is normally coming out of the mouths of the likes of like Peter Schrager. So that is, hey, you got You're moving needles, pal. You're moving the lines whenever you talk, and that's great to hear, though. I'm excited to hear Jaden say that because a lot of this process is like team speaking for people or management or those close to, and it's like he said, "I'll be happy wherever my name's called." It's like, boom. We're good.
Okay.
Let's move along.
Yeah.
Let's go to number 3 overall pick. Connor's got a question for you.
Yeah, Strakes, 3 is May completely locked in at that spot. Maybe not the team, but at that spot. I think yesterday Schefter said that he had a 75% likelihood if he were to put a percentage on it of him going at 3 to New England with them staying there. Obviously, he's minus 350 as a heavy favorite. Is that how you still see it? And also, Diana Rossini is reporting that Jonathan Kraft is heavily involved in the pick. He is an owner. Obviously, he's involved. But should that be any cause for concern for New England fans? And do you think that at the end of the day, if Mayo and Wolf are kind of on the same page with the player they want, they might be able to kind of convince Jonathan Kraft, like, hey, we got this, don't worry.
That bug got me too earlier.
Yeah.
Flew right.
I'll start with
The worst.
I'll start with the front of that.
Former church.
Well, it's getting nice out again. The bugs are back.
The pollen, the bugs.
It's too much.
How do these bugs always have the bee? Oh.
I swallowed a bee one time when I was a kid.
Wow.
So it's happened before.
That's pretty impressive. You should feel that.
It's a real story.
What? Okay, so the bug that just flew in your mouth
Oh,
there.
of course. Yeah, that was obvious. Everyone saw that.
Sorry, Shrake. Sorry. We got a Thunderdome issue going on. We got to get a bug.
No, I get it.
All right,
I get it. The cicadas are out.
Whoa.
Don't twist that.
Not yet. Not yet.
Those are going to some other states, I heard.
They better.
Thank God you all are going to have to experience what we had to do a couple of years ago. These sons of bitches were dormant for almost, 2 decades or something?
I know.
And they
And they
came
don't
out, they
shut
were
up.
chirpy. These things were talking a lot, didn't they, Shrake?
They're screwing, too.
No.
Boning? They are, Shrake.
They're saying it's going to be a
Multiply.
historic year for them.
Not for our state.
Oh, yeah.
No, send it to another
All
state.
over.
Illinois.
It's going to be the worst.
Make these assholes
They're coming.
in the other states that were, how loud could the bugs be? You have no idea.
So loud.
You have no idea how loud these little bastards are.
Yeah, 2 different batches this summer.
You got to
In Indiana,
I think it's everywhere.
I'm buying a flamethrower. That's it.
I don't think we should be doing
That's it.
They don't live.
Did you see the end of Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Which one?
Right? Didn't they? Wasn't that the essence of the entire story?
The last one, it kind of sunk, but they did torch those big
Oh, yeah, they did the bug.
cricket bugs.
That's
and
what
it
we're
ruined
doing.
everything.
That movie was so bad.
It was awful.
I'm not getting it. Sorry, Shrakes.
It was.
Let's get back to the Patriots. pick at
Sorry.
number 3.
No, I was going to talk about Jurassic Park 11. I have thoughts.
Whoa,
as well.
Is that the newest one where they lit the things on fire? That's the only Jurassic Park I've ever watched, and boy, was it horrendous. I had no idea. Yeah, anyways, let's go back to the Patriots, which might be Jurassic Park. Bunch of dinosaurs of the past.
Bunch of bugs.
That dynasty that was potentially taking place, and now they have to rebuild. Sorry, who's making the decisions up there? The Suns?
See, the first part is I think May does go third, and I think there are some teams that will be dialing and trying to move up. The 2 teams that I've been hearing the most about being May teams in the last 48 hours are the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants, which are teams who have 11 and 6. Now, look, does Minnesota maybe want to move up for J.J. McCarthy as well? Sure. Does the Giants potentially want to move up for Sure. I'm just saying there has been connections from other teams around the league, not to Minnesota and New York specifically, that they're hearing, hey, those are 2 linking spots. Now, can Minnesota get all the way up to 3? Well, they've got the 11. They've got the 23. They've got a future first. Like, they could offer a back. Then if you're the Patriots, if you're not sold on May, maybe you move back to 11 and hope McCarthy is sitting there. Well, that's playing quite a game of dice.
Dangerous game.
Can't do it.
Dangerous game.
Yeah.
And gosh, I've heard from a million people about this third pick. I've had Drake May going 3 to the Patriots all along. The latest thing I've heard, and now Diana said that, Kraft might be playing a role, Jonathan, and maybe this is his opportunity to really say, hey, I'm the man. I'm getting involved. We've got Bill's finally out of here.
I'm making documentaries. Yeah, we get it.
I'm doing documentaries, and then I'm saying, wait, we were disappointed with how. Okay, all that fine.
Yeah, we own the documentary, but don't love
but
it.
no,
Got it. That's
but-
happened before to others as well, I think.
Yes, sure. I would say, does Mr. Brady make a call and say, hey, guys, this Michigan kid, I'll tell you what, this Michigan kid, he's got what it takes, and I'll tell you, the Michigan Mafia stars. I don't think Brady's calling anybody and making anything, but this is what happens 48 hours from the draft. People are like, don't forget the Brady Michigan tie and Brady and Robert and how tight he is with Kraft, and if Brady really wants to go to bat for McCarthy, does he have a voice in this thing? And I'm like, I don't see it. I think it's Drake May number 3, or someone else trades up to get him. But gosh, if they start getting cute with this thing, This is going to get really interesting. To me, you need a quarterback. Take Drake May. He's 21 years old. Build around him. And let's call.
And you got Jacoby Brissett, who's played meaningful football before. He'll be able to get you. Nobody's expecting you to win a Super Bowl this year.
Nope.
I mean, if you do, good on you, Coach Mayo. Everything would be on the up and up if you did. But everybody's saying Drake's a project, but everybody's a project too. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't know where the line is drawn. But if Tom Brady's calling the Kraft family and saying,
and I'm not saying he is, but that's what people are now theorizing. Like if there's a McCarthy to the Patriots tie, it's because
But that's a draft in a nutshell, because with pick 4 and 5, for instance, the Colts could get involved with that strictly because the owner.
Harrison.
Yes, bingo. Yeah. So question there. Tone has one for you, Shrey.
Yeah, Shrey, I think it's widely well known potentially right now that the Cardinals are definitely shopping number 4. Do we know, are the Chargers also shopping number 5? Do we have any clue what the Chargers are potentially doing at 5?
Tone, I love you. I don't know if the Cardinals are shopping or listening to those. And I think there's a distinction there because they're the type of team that, and I think Schefter was wonderful this week reporting on it, they're not the ones who are going to be on the phone until actual draft day, and they'll answer and they'll figure it out and they'll maneuver. In Arizona 4, fine. Chargers is interesting. So you got a new GM and Joe Ortiz, obviously, but it's Harbaugh's team. And it's like, what are the quarterback needy teams? Well, you've got 11 Minnesota. 12 is Denver. Would the Chargers trade within the division and give Denver the opportunity to move up to 5? I don't see it. I don't see them giving a division rival a trade partner at 5. And then 13 is the Raiders, another division rival. I don't see them doing that. So for the Chargers, the obvious connection is 11. And if you're Harbaugh, who, by the way, did have multiple interviews with the Vikings, and I don't know where that thing worked out a couple of years ago, but if you're Harbaugh, you'd much rather make a maneuver with the Vikings in the NFC North if they're looking for a quarterback. And also, you'd much rather put J.J. McCarthy, who you've said is the greatest quarterback in Michigan history. You'd rather put him with a team with 2 Ferraris at wide receiver, 2 offensive tackles already in Minnesota, and an offensive play caller in Kevin O'Connell and Aaron Jones in the backfield. Like, that's a good position for McCarthy. You put him there and you figure out that trade at 5 and 11, as opposed to saying 12 and 13, where I'm going to put J.J. McCarthy as a division rival and then also give them an opportunity to play him twice a year and beat me twice a year. I don't see that.
I didn't even think about the angle in which you laid that out there. Like, how many times have teams accepted the worst offer? Like a worse offer to keep.
It might happen.
Yeah, legit. That's how business go. Like choosing not to let somebody else benefit from a deal, especially in your division, is not a bad idea. Like, that is interesting to if we go back into history and we hear about these draft night trades. How many other offers were up there that we hadn't heard about?
I remember Detroit traded with Minnesota in the Jamison Williams deal. That was a couple years ago. There's very few.
Last year with Patriots Steelers, the Steelers got the tackle ahead of the Jets.
Yeah.
I agree. But what I'm saying is, how many teams have offered a package to a team that is much better than this one, but this team in division, this team not in division, just being like, nah, we're actually going to do this. I would like to hear what some of these were.
Yeah.
Throughout history that never get announced or never heard. What were some teams willing to give up to a division rival to make it?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It actually sounds like a good 30 for 30 or like a documentary, like the trades that weren't.
Yeah. Could you imagine if this happens in the division? Because there has to be nothing worse than somebody staying in the division and then just cooking you. And
cooking you.
Yeah, absolutely doing. This
one is the next level with Harbaugh's relationship with McCarthy. So it's like,
he's been saying he's the best quarterback in the class because they're at 5. He would love for 4 quarterbacks to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in front of him in this entire thing. So there's always some maneuvering. Let's talk about it a little bit deeper in the draft. Tosh Schmidt has a question for you, Shrakes.
Yeah, Shrakes, more towards the back half. Brian Gutekunst said, I think it was yesterday, that he's not opposed to trading up. Obviously, he did so for Jordan Love a couple years ago. But then some of those other teams we see, like the Bills, it's widely speculated, hey, they need to get a receiver. There's probably going to be a run. Don't know if there's going to be a bunch left in there. Are you hearing anything about some of those teams maybe being aggressive, trading up in the back half of the draft? Or is that something that they'll probably wait until they see how the board falls on Thursday night and then we'll hear something?
It's a really interesting draft, and I'm not trying to take the sales out of day 2 and day 3 because it's going to be great. I keep on hearing more and more. There are 16 blue chip guys in this draft, and there are 6 quarterbacks. So put that all together. Let's say there's 20 guys that we know are going to go in the first round. if one of those quarterbacks falls, you better believe a team is going to try to trade back into that back third. Or if, for example, one of the top, corners, there's probably 3 or 4 corners that are going to go. If they fall back, they would trade up. Packer specific, they've been all over the board in recent years. We know that they don't take wide receivers in the first round. We know that they like their own tendencies and what they do. But I couldn't speak with any confidence knowing if the Packers are going to move up or move down. I would say this, though. You've probably got 2 pass rushers, Dallas Turner and Latu. You've probably got 3 corners. I'm going to put Mitchell, the Mac kid. I'm going to put Arnold from Alabama. I'm going to put Kool-Aid from Alabama. Those guys are all viewed as it. And then Byron Murphy as your big boy inside. And that might be your only surefire, defensive first-round pick. So if you're a team that wants one of those guys, you might want to trade up a few spots to get one of them because they're probably going to go in the top 20.
Pre this particular draft, the record for most amount of offensive players drafted in the first round is 19. And everybody has said that number's about to get blown out of the water. We can't wait to look at your last mock draft. That'll be released tomorrow morning. We're excited for Good Morning Football being back Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Do we have any updates on when the King of New York is moving to the West Coast?
We don't know that yet. We'll figure that all out. We're looking. I keep on seeing the real estate in L.A. seems more than the real estate in New York City, which is crazy.
Yeah, I always enjoy that the smartest people on earth in our United States of America choose to live in the most expensive places on earth. Feels like, you know.
But, Pat, you could say all that. Madison Square Garden last night, bro. That's why you pay the big bucks to live in New York, man.
What an evening.
What I loved, look, I get Chris Rock and Stiller and Gary Vee and whoever is sitting courtside. I get all that. What I'm looking at is John Starks, Latrell Sprewell, Bernard King, Tim Thomas, the guys that I grew up with. I'm like, they're going nuts like fans. Carmelo. I was like, all right. So the Garden, that was pretty cool. That's the best I've seen the Garden probably since LJ's 4-point play, but I don't want to talk about who that was against. That was in 99 in the playoffs against the team you might know.
Yeah, so, my thoughts, though, on it all, the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, how would you compare it to, other arenas in the country, you think? How would you compare it?
I think it's the world's most famous arena, and it's the greatest place to watch a basketball game, a concert, or a hockey game in the universe.
Okay. All right, I can see how you would say that.
That's the king.
All right, safe travels to the West Coast if you go. We understand that you are New York, and we're excited to see how it all works out. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager.
Thank you, guys.
Madison Square Garden is cool when you're in it. It's like it's in the middle of the biggest city in the country, obviously. It's a big deal. There's a buzz.
Thing to do.
I will say there's a lot of other arenas, though, that have had
newer,
upgrades and updates and things like that you can maybe feel a little bit more because it's the energy that Madison Square Garden has. That is the big why when you walk in it feels special. Yeah. I couldn't even image last night in there.
Oh, it looked like it was incredible.
And out into the city, obviously. It's just like a perfect setup.
Those videos of whoever goes outside and has a microphone and guys are just walking up and screaming into it. I'm pumped to see what those pump out, hopefully today or tonight.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to get some grade A New Yorker. Yeah, it should be fantastic. Speaking of a man who should be grade A, the Toronto Maple Leafs steal one in Boston.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, to come in and take a victory lap, I would assume, as a man who might win a Lord Stanley Cup in the future as a coach, maybe a strength coach. You've been seeing him cover the NHL on ESPN all year and on this particular program. He still gets a massage 6 days a week, even though he is a retired athlete, because you never know. You never know. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, PK Subban.
It's not even Toronto.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. Yep. Buckle up, Pat.
Okay.
Kucherov for Hart. Let's go.
Okay.
You guys see it.
Go Bolts. I didn't expect to go Bolts immediately, but we...
No go Bolts. I got the Panthers. I got the Panthers in 6 games, but I want Cooch for Hart. Tampa sent me this tea. I got to give a quick...
Okay. You son of a bitch.
So you go for Cooch, you got the Panthers, and then obviously the Maple Leafs steal one in Boston. You're riding high right now. It's a good Tuesday for PK Subban.
Oh, look at this. Bright and sunny day out in Bristol, Connecticut. Couldn't ask for anything better than this. I did find a spot. Thank you. I'm live. Thank you.
All right, PK, let's talk about what you're live to talk about, which is hockey. An incredible night last night in the NBA, incredible night in the NHL. Let's start in the Boston barn. Obviously, this is the year that we assume the Boston Bruins are going to go on and win Lord Stanley Cup. They bring in Patty Maroon, a man who has 3 Stanley Cups, maybe beefing up the fourth line a little bit, add a little attitude and a little bit of championship pedigree. And then all of a sudden, they're losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs at home. The Toronto Maple Leafs, who have never beat the Bruins in the playoffs since like 1950 or 1960 something. Are we worried about the Bruins? And when you see Austin Matthews cook like that, does that make you think maybe back in Toronto, the Boston Bruins are going to be cooked? What did you learn last night? And what are your thoughts on this series going forward?
Well, I picked the Bruins in 6 games, so everybody there, you guys can relax. I did pick the Bruins in 6 games. I didn't expect this to be 4 straight for the Bruins, but I will say this. Last night, little bump in the road. They have to get the hate back in their game, that desperation. Do not let the Toronto Maple Leafs off the hook. They let them off the hook last night. Too many penalties. Stay out of the box. It doesn't allow you to play them 5-on-5. You got to play Toronto 5-on-5. And a guy like Patrick Maroon, you bring him in so that 5-on-5, he can play physical, get down low, cycle the puck, grind down their defense. Like, Boston's got to attack Toronto's defense. That defense is thin. You got Lyubushkin, the list goes on and on. All of those guys, there's no studs back there. Morgan Riley's their best D-man. But listen, you can expose them. Get in on the forecheck, make them play 200 feet away from your net, and they'll be fine.
Big night last night for Pablo, though, huh? I believe another nickname is Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
Big Poppy,
yeah.
Poppy Chulo. I don't know what they're calling him down there, but I'll tell you this. I said it yesterday. When the lights come on, and Pat, you know this in professional sports, at the end of the day, in playoff time, when those bright lights come on, the stars got to come out. And listen, he showed up in a big way last night. I'm not going to take anything away from him because he led, he stepped up, scored a huge goal for them. But Max Domi, listen to me. I told, there was a tweet that I sent out in early October that Sheldon Keefe had too much skill in their top 6. He needed some sandpaper and grit. Listen, look at Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman, who had 50 goals this year. He's playing with Connor McDavid. He's a sandpaper guy. They bring Max Domi up. They bring him up late in the season, and it's paying dividends right now. So, both of those guys I thought were highly impactful for Toronto up front. But make no doubt about it, Austin Matthews, a bona fide stud, and this guy's a playoff performer now. We have to start recognizing him as that. That's a huge goal on the road at TD Garden.
Yeah, it's
Toronto loves it.
Electrifying. I mean, and then celebrate the way it just such an athletic goal as well.
Mm-hmm. It looked like Brady to Gronk there, that lob pass.
Down the middle, down the seam.
Brady to Grizzock.
Yeah, I think so. And, on skates, obviously, you have to be able to balance, and the dexterity is absurd if you're able to do that. But to put it in stride, pretty much. Yeah. And then Deke, Ched.
Oh no,
nasty finishing.
Well, the way I look at it is Austin Matthews and the best players in the world, McDavid, you can throw him in that group. They can do everything at top speed. Most players got to slow down. Like, no.
I mean, he just cooked Omar. I mean, he just cooked him right there.
Cooked everybody.
Yeah, that was.
That was.
Hockey's been showing up, staying with that game.
Yeah, I feel like last night, PK, was probably the first time, maybe in the history of Boston Bruins hockey, that even the fans looked at, Bieber's boy and said, hey, you know what? Hats off to you. That's a great game. You played fantastic. But looking at Olmark and Swayman, how do you decide Bieber's boy, another one of his nicknames, Austin Matthews? Sorry, we were listing nicknames. Bieber's boy.
No, I just learned of Pablo and Poppy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was just Austin with an L. That's why I thought he was always. I thought they called him L. He said, "Hey, yo, oh,
that'd be a cool name." I mean, I guess he's putting it through the O's
Poppy
of the goalies.
Chulo.
Poppy Chulo.
I like Poppy Chulo.
Is that what you call him?
Well, I mix it up. I got a few nicknames for him. Big Poppy, Poppy Chulo. I mean, I use all 3.
And when you walk up to him, you just say with a straight face, Poppy Chulo. What's going on? Is that
at the All-Star game? At the All-Star game, I asked him which one, and he just kind of laughed and giggled at me, and he said, "PK, do whatever you want." And I said, "Okay, well, fine. If you're gonna give me, whiteboard, you're gonna give me an empty canvas. Trust me, I'll come up with a few more for him." He keeps playing like that.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what comes out of PK's brain for old Poppy Chulo Bieber's boy.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't keep playing like that. But looking at the goalie situation for Boston, is this kind of just one of those things where they're just going to go every other game no matter what? Because Olmark, going into the game, I know a lot of Bruins fans were nervous, felt like he played fantastic. And then on the other side, PK, what's going on with Nylander? What's the situation there? Because everyone's up in arms that he's not playing, and I know I'm hoping that he doesn't play.
Well, listen, Willie Nylander is a massive part of the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's why they signed him to that much dough and that much term, because when you look at it, they got Tavares on a long term, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Morgan Riley. They got a lot of cap space tied up, but they're heavy. The big four is what they build their team around. So you take one of those guys out of the mix, they lose significant depth. Now, the question still remains on whether this is how you should be building a team nowadays in the National Hockey League. You look at Vegas and the success that they've had, they don't have that much money tied up in just four guys. So, but Willie Nylander he was probably, outside of Austin Matthews, their best forward all season. So to miss him and the skill set that he brings, 5-on-5, you're going to have to score goals because teams are good on the penalty kill. They're watching scouting reports. You know, you got to be able to put pressure on teams 5-on-5, and Willie Nylander does that. I have no idea where he is. No idea where he is. I don't know what happened. Like, what happened since game 82? For him to play all the games and then not be able to play in that first game.
What could it be? What could it be? Like drama? Injury? What happens in hockey?
Well, listen, I'm not one to speculate, okay? I don't like people coming out and speculating that it could be this and could be that. I hated that as a player.
Yeah.
Let's get down to the truth of it. Something may have happened in the last game. Maybe something was ailing him and it got worse. But once again, I'm going to go back to this. Why the hell was he playing? Like, let's just say it was that. Let's just say something was ailing him. Why are you playing in that last game? And then what the hell happened between game 82 and game 1? If that wasn't it, what happened there? So,
might have been walking a dog. Might have been walking a dog.
Because the Maple Leafs, Mark said that they went back, watched the entire 82 game or the 82nd game, and they were like, "There's no portion of this game where it felt like he might have tweaked something or something along those lines."
Has this happened before in hockey?
It's a bit of a gong show in Toronto with the media and the coach. I don't think he handles the media correctly in Toronto. If you want my real opinion on it, I don't think he handles it well. And that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean that it's wrong the way he handles it. That's just my opinion. I don't think he handles it well. And who knows? I don't know. Players get into it with coaches all the time. I'm not going to speculate that. But what I do need to say is this. The Toronto Maple Leafs, there's no excuses. I ain't giving them any excuses. You still got Tavares, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. You guys went out. You say you're Stanley Cup contenders. You should be able to beat the Boston Bruins then in the first round without Willie Nylander. So I don't want to hear it. They got it done last night. Like, sack up, grab your sack, and go out there and get it done. And you know what? When it comes down to it and it's crunch time, you need your star players to step up, and Austin Matthews did that last night. But there's a lot of hockey left to be played, and I want to see if Willie Nylander's not in for Game 3. Like, I want to hear what Sheldon Keefe's going to say about it. If he's going to miss 3 games and he played Game 82, what's the explanation for it?
Yeah, none of it makes sense. I mean, everybody's seemingly asking the same questions around the hockey world because how good of a player he is, and yeah, I mean. A bit of a gong show is a great way to describe something. Yeah. I mean, you got your point across. Willie? You got your point across completely by describing something as a gong show. And I want to.
It's a gong show over there.
Is that a Canadian thing? You guys describe stuff as gong shows in Canada, or is that a PK thing?
Yeah, no, gong show.
You Canadians are awesome.
Sheldon Keefe is he's not great.
Okay, so he's a bit of a gong show with the media.
Yeah, they lost. What'd they lose to the Bruins in Game 1?
5-1.
They asked him about the injury. He's laughing in the media's face. It's like, probably have something better there.
And that's my problem. Listen to me.
Glasses are off! Glasses are off in Bristol!
Hold on. It's an original 6 team. I grew up in Toronto, okay? Like, as much as I played for the Montreal Canadiens, was drafted there, I grew up in Toronto. So as much as there was hate towards the Toronto Maple Leafs when I played, like, my mom is a huge Leafs fan. She texted me last night. She's like, suck it. The Leafs won. Like, so I grew up in that environment. I got respect for the organization. So when it comes to managing the media, there's got to be more respect for the fan base, that you're talking to people that are educated about the game. And we're not idiots. So you got to be able to handle that. That's why I think the original 6 franchises, you got to have the right leadership there. And by the way, it's not just off the ice. It's on the ice too. Like, we're seeing it translate on the ice. And that's where my frustration is. So, we can spend all day getting into it, Pat. I'm getting swollen in the chest. I got a hoodie on. I'm getting hot. I'm getting real hot. But, I'm not the biggest fan of the Leafs and the way they do things.
Well, every once in a while, an organization will put you in the oven, especially whenever you start getting a little cooked up. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Cooch cooking.
All right. All right. Ty's got a question for you.
Yeah, PK, another game last night, Golden Knights and Stars. We had Steve Levy on the other day, and he basically said, hey, this is going to be war on ice. And it kind of was. A lot of people bitching, with Vegas putting Stoner on LITR. He comes back, pots one right away, and then the guys they were able to get because he was on LITR. Hannafin has 2 assists. Hurdle scores a goal. How do you see that series kind of playing out, and how important in a series like this is it to get that first game? And also, why do the Golden Knights seem to kind of have Otter's number? He's been so hot going into this, but it seems like for whatever reason, the Golden Knights just know how to beat him.
Well, for any Dallas fan that's complaining about anything, you shouldn't be complaining about anything, because last night you had an opportunity to win game 1 on home ice. Thompson was letting everything but like beach balls in from left, right, and center, and they couldn't capitalize on it. So, listen, there's still the game within the game. I don't care how your roster looks. You still got to go out and play, right? You still got to go out and execute. And Vegas, for me, you know what? They did everything within the rules. So you can't, listen, whether it's his spleen, his back, I'm going to tell you, last year people had an issue with it. I've had back injuries in my career. Nobody's figured out backs. You can put surgery. You can
Football
do it
hasn't either.
No one's figured them out. Exactly. No one's figured them out. So you can't sit here and tell me that the player's not injured or he's faking it or whatever. That's insane. You can't say that in a contact sport. I mean, this is the toughest sport. I think Mark Stone's proven that he's pretty tough and that he's a winner and he's a gamer. So you can't do that. And Vegas, listen, they utilized the system. They brought in the right players. Listen, you can free up the cap space and bring in the wrong players too. So you got to give their organization credit for how they've continued to make this team better year in and year out.
Yeah, they go out and make their organization better.
To answer your question, Dallas last night, I thought, played a very good game. I thought they played a really good game.
Way to go,
went right
Texas.
down to the hour.
Texas hockey, way to go.
They played great. They played great. And you know what?
Great.
But if I look on the other side, Vegas didn't play their best game. Thompson did not play his best game. And there was a 2-minute drill. Like, you know how Tom Brady gets at the end of the game, 2 minutes on the clock, and he drives it down the field. 2-minute drill for the Vegas Golden Knights, not focused on anything but playing defense. And if Dallas Stars are your pick to win the Stanley Cup, they had 2 minutes. 2 minutes without a goalie, 6 on 5, and they couldn't score. Vegas held strong, and to me, that was a definitive moment. I can't believe that Vegas is the favorite to win the cup. It's nuts to me.
I know, PK.
Nuts.
Locked on.
You ever seen a penalty called 20 seconds into a playoff series, PK? That was interesting. That's an interesting start to a series. You ever seen that? You ever seen that before, PK?
Classic sports.
Listen, I'm not getting into the officiating. I watched the Rangers game the other night, and Rempe bumps a guy, and he gets called 10 seconds into it. The ref's got to set the tone, and I don't want to hear players complaining about the officiating. It's a 60-minute game. You're going to get your call sometimes. You're not going to get them the other time. You got to figure it out.
I had to give you one early. We have refs mic'd up. The NHL refs are the best. They understand flow of game and I don't want to say you seem to I saw your head kind of turn like that, but I appreciate the fact that the NHL refs have brains and a feel of the game. And I think there was a mic'd up one last year, 2 years ago, where the ref actually said, "Sorry, we had to give you one early because of what happened or whatever." And it's every player was like, "All right, sucks, but we understand it. It kind of happens." It's an interesting game because a penalty is a very big advantage in hockey. So if they feel like they mess it up, there is a potential get back on the other side, which I respect as a sports fan. Personally, I do respect the way it operates.
Yeah, and you know what? The influence is different depending on what teams you're looking at. Listen, you give Tampa Bay some extra power plays, they're going to make you pay. Best power play in the league, right? But you give Boston, listen, Toronto might take some more liberties of Boston because their power play's kind of been like this, right? So, so you're going to see it. You're going to see it vary from different series where teams are going to have to put more of an emphasis on when to be disciplined and when not to be. I wouldn't want to be putting the Rangers and Tampa on the power play extra time. But if I'm Toronto, listen, Max Domi, I'd take a run I'd grab a pound of flesh with Brandon Carlo, and take my 2 minutes. It might be worth it.
Patty Maroon's going to be on the other side.
Yeah, I had a power play goal last night, but
yeah. Well, we're not talking about. Let's talk about tonight. You talk about that Caps-Rangers game with Rempe getting a penalty 10 seconds in. Tom Wilson obviously doing Tom Wilson stuff. Okay. Are we going to see those two go at it at some point? And then we saw the Reeves and Patty Maroon last night. Is this all bubbling, brewing, especially in these best-of-7 series in sports? Man, I don't know how, especially hockey, with how much you're hitting each other, how one game doesn't lead into the next game emotionally or how you personally feel about somebody, let alone if it's being hyped up as you two are the dogs. It's like, Rempe, Tom, we're staring that down inevitably. And how do you feel about the other games happening tonight, what we should be looking for?
Well, I'm going to say specifically to the Rangers in Washington, because, obviously this is a huge game, a pivotal game for Washington. Washington is in a real tough spot. They got, I think, 6 rookies in there. They got some regulars out of the lineup. They don't have much depth. But what they do have is a great coach in Spencer Carberry, who should be up for Coach of the Year, in my opinion. And I'm sure he's going to make some adjustments to try to slow the Rangers down. Washington can't stop hitting. You got to establish the forecheck. And, for me, that is so important, and you're going to hear me say that a lot throughout the playoffs. You got to wear teams down. And the only way to create mistakes is by putting pressure on. You got to apply major pressure. And the issue is right now is that Washington can't get out of their own zone. They're missing some regular defense, and you can't turn anything into offense if you don't start with your breakout. Everything starts in your own zone. You got to come out with possession. You got to get the puck. 3-quarter ice game. Peter Laviolette, the coach of the Rangers, I played for him in Nashville. I know exactly what he's saying to the Rangers. That puck, once you get to their blue line, it's got to be in deep. We're not giving them any freebies. They're going to have to come 200 feet to score. So what I'm saying with Washington, they got to get back, support on the breakout, get some flow, and manage the puck through the neutral zone. That's the only way. And I'm going to tell you something right now.
That's all.
That's what
Tom Wilson is I bet this right now, he's going to be a whole lot more physical today. Okay. So, you know what? Is there a chance? Yes, I'd be watching for sure. He and Rempe go. Rempe, a goal last game, that fourth line, Jimmy Vesey, goal and an assist. Barclay Goudreau, 2 assists. So that fourth line had an impact. I'm sure they're going to want to rectify that today.
I mean, Rempe throws balls around, and there was a little scrum at the end of a period, and Rempe didn't see it. He turned around and immediately just grabbed the guy, and the guy saw him.
Guys, they're calling him Matt Rempire in New York.
Yeah, right? Rempire State Building.
Rempire State of mind.
And he's got a Rempire touch as well. I mean, it was so natural, that goal. It's also tonight, Lightning, Panthers, Avs, Jets. Winnipeg going to be doing, is going to be Bananas Barn again, I assume, must watch?
Look out. 13 goals, I think it was, in their game. Yeah. It's unbelievable. That's a series to watch. For me, Winnipeg, what makes them great, and this is a quick snippet, they got 4 lines, and they're rolling all 4 lines. So I expect them to be fresh, but look out for Kyle Connor. That guy, I really believe this is like a coming out party for him, not as a player, because we've all known about this guy. Yeah. But I think that their team, exactly, he's coming out. Winnipeg's winning. I need Florida to elevate the physicality against Tampa. Enough with the soft. Yes, exactly, against. I need them to get on the body. Leave Kucherov alone. That's my boy. But get on everybody else. Stamkos, too. That's my guy. But Florida's got to get physical. This is a big, big game. Big win for them. They got to take care of home ice. You don't want to be going back to Tampa with a split, especially with Vasilevsky kicking them at the other end. Vasilevsky played really well. Florida's got to get the puck up. He's taking away the lower part of the ice. Elevate the puck. Go upstairs where Mama Subban keeps the peanut butter.
Oh,
right
the crunchy peanut butter up there. Hey, you want to talk about loud barns in the best home ice in the league currently? I'm on the team.
Whoa! snap!
We got it.
There.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, couldn't tell you where Winnipeg was 48 hours ago on a map, but now it's a place that I think everybody's going to want to watch tonight. Look at that arena. It was like that for the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
They're on again tonight. They're home dogs with this potential atmosphere there. This Winnipeg team might be, it might be the time to hop on the jet that's flying up in Canada near North Dakota and Minnesota, from my understanding from geography.
Pat, I have never been booed louder in arena than at the MTS Center in Winnipeg. I played against the Manitoba Moose. I played 77 games in the AHL. When I was 19 and 20, I played against the Moose. I played for Hamilton. They hated me then, and the hate only built throughout my career. We played Winnipeg in the playoffs, and I love scoring in that building. But what a great barn. These fans got to show up in the regular season, but they're showing up in the playoffs. It's one of the best places to play. It's going to be electric.
Congrats to the NHL playoffs being awesome, and congrats to you for being the most successful ever Maple Moose in the history of Maple Moose.
That's right.
And then you go on and take over, and now you're pushing for other people to win obviously MVP, and then you're betting against them in their series. I mean, you're all over the place, PK, but that's why we love them. Ladies and gentlemen, PK Subban, we appreciate you, buddy. He's picking every team.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was going to say.
How about him breaking down the entire... What they need to do, forecheck, nail it at the middle. They do this, dump it 200 feet of hockey.
200 feet away.
He's D-Bucks of the hockey world.
He's phenomenal out there.
He is.
I really enjoy him on the program.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him on First Take the other day. They were talking about who's tougher.
That was great.
Yeah, hockey or football guys. And I was like, in 2024, I think everybody understands that that's... I don't know these football guys, but I would assume it's a hockey guy. Mac Kachuk had an entire broken body.
Yes,
and they just picked him back up and put him on the ice. I don't know if you're even allowed to do that in the NFL at this stage of the game.
No chance.
So I don't know if there's a real convo to be had. But then also, PK said, you can fight at any time. It's like, if the NFL guys could do that, a lot more guys would.
For sure.
So it's almost like the rules of the game. So we respect that hockey allows that to happen, I think. That's a tough convo because I'm not going to be in it because I'm a punter, obviously. But you could talk to a lot of football guys, they'd probably be like, tougher than me, how? Just because they can skate on ice? I don't
Especially
understand.
in the trenches.
It's like, well, whenever they're broken in half, they're playing. It's like, okay, valid. It's interesting.
There's different levels to it because I think it was the guy from Winnipeg last year. Remember, he took a skate to the face and had 79 stitches, and he missed 4 minutes of game time. Came back in with his face sewn back together. You're never afforded that that's never going to happen in a football game, But guys do it in the NHL all the time, or take a puck and knock 6 teeth out, and they're right back out there. That type of stuff can't really happen on a football field. So it's almost like it's a good conversation because there really never will be a good answer for it.
As we wrap ever, because there's so many different levels. Well, what define toughness?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got all the deep thinkers.
You know how much my feet hurt after being in skates for 2.5 hours?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Think about how hot it is, though, that we have to deal with. You guys never have to deal with the heat that we have to deal with ever.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we get too cold.
Yeah, that's another
flip side.
Freezing. Like there's a whole. We're playing in -12. You guys ever doing that, or is it always perfectly temperature for yourself? How about those brand new gloves you guys get every single line shift? Is that a whole? I mean, there's just so many different levels to it. Beautiful convo. But I like the fact that it's even taking place with hockey because that means hockey is getting noticed by more people.
Right.
I love.
Thank God.
The sport.
Playoff hockey.
Playoffs.
Need to watch
Unbelievable.
It doesn't matter if your team's in it for playoffs.
This place tonight. Just watch the environment. Watch how fast everything is. Watch the mag. What were you saying?
He said it doesn't matter if your team's in. It helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Still, entertainment value-wise. I'm not saying caring value-wise.
There's a lot of things we did not get to cover in this first hour. Obviously, we will. John Lynch talked about Brandon Ayuk. I don't know how to read it, to be honest. I have no idea. It was a good delivery by John Lynch. He's either close to getting a deal done with him like he had in the past with Debo, or he's close to moving on from Brandon Ayuk, and I have no idea. Incredible press conference from John Lynch, giving an answer without saying anything, just like Monty did for the Arizona Cardinals. We're on that clip as we see everybody trying to lie, get away with it, while also try to gather as much real information so they can get a little bit of a leverage in the poker game that is the NFL draft. Our draft spectacular is 2 days away. I can't wait for it. We're going up to Detroit tomorrow. Can't wait to get up to the city. Can't wait to see the Hollywood sign that they got up there.
It's massive.
Brand new Lions, brand new uniforms, NFL draft up there.
Yep.
How are the Red Wings doing?
They should have made the playoffs. They got kind of screwed.
All right, we'll be back on the other side with not Kendrick Perkins. Anyways, we'll see you then. is now is a man who will be compared to forever whenever they're talking about GOAT conversations in the sport of football. That's because he won 7 Super Bowls, was consistently dominant for more than 2 decades at football. Ridiculously handsome. So absurdly handsome. An underdog story, too, picked at 199 of the NFL draft. Not a top 5 pick, not handed anything. And then what did he do? He went to work, did his job, became the greatest of all time, and now a phenomenal businessman and a great representation of the greatest league on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady. Hell yeah,
What's
dude.
up, my man?
Tom, I thought this was all potential gimmick rip. I didn't know if you were actually on the show. I'm so pumped you were here. Hey, we love you, dude. We love you, Tom.
I appreciate it.
When you're 40 years old and you've won 6 Super Bowls and you're already being called the GOAT, was there anything to you getting to the point of just being, I'm tired of Bill Belichick talking to me like I'm a 23-year-old? Because that was kind of the lingering at the end of your time at New England.
There was so much people just trying to create some division that most of it was untrue, but it's just the way the world works. And naturally, I think division from within is a big problem in these team environments. And I don't like seeing any dysfunction in team environments. Obviously, my respect for Coach Belichick is pretty well documented. He was an incredible leader and coach for our team. And I tried to do my best every single day that I took the field. I knew that he did the same thing. And I think that's why I respected his coaching so much.
But whenever they talk about the Patriot way, that is normally the reason that is given is like the Patriot way, the Patriot way, the Patriot way.
I've never used that term in my entire life. I think when people say it, I'm always like, what's the Patriot way? It sounds like the title of a book. I think what we tried to do was we tried to do things the right way. I think we tried to practice the right way and prepare the right way. What happened on game day was ultimately a reflection of what we practiced. And I thought we had great leadership from our coaches, and it filtered down to the guys who really drove the culture. We had so many guys that I played with over the course of a lot of years that really understood that, okay, I'm going to care about my teammates and I'm going to care about helping the team win.
There's a guy on our show who is diehard Patriot fan. Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Tommy, I have to.
What's up, Boston?
I have to start and just say thank you. You know, my whole life has been incredible because of the fact that you have won 6 Super Bowls. And, you know, I'm a loser every day, but I'm a winner as a football fan because of you and what the Patriots were able to do. So thank you. What do you think the new era of New England with Mayo is going to be?
Him coming back into coaching, I think is great for the NFL and certainly great for the Patriots. He's got a great understanding of how things need to be done. I think Gerard does an incredible job relating to everybody in the locker room, all the coaches, and I think he'll do a great job.
Going into the booth, are you utilizing the same thing, hearing what people are saying about you going in there? And how do you balance that while still being a human?
The broadcast going to be 5 years from now is going to be hopefully more improved than the one that starts on day 1. So I'm going to go in there with the opportunity to start and learn, and I'm sure by the end of the year I'll feel more comfortable. I really want to be a great ambassador for the NFL and the game. I love the sport. I love
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, UP.
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this draft spectacular week, Tuesday, April 23rd. Hour 2 of this starts now.
Sports!
Welcome back to the program. This place is the dumbest place on earth to work, and the fact that we get to do it, we are so incredibly thankful. You're the greatest people on earth, just like sports is the greatest thing to happen on this earth every time that it happens. We're in the middle of the NBA, in the NHL playoffs. We got a couple golf legendary runs happening that we'll talk about 10 years from now. The NFL draft is 2 days away. It's a wonderful time. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Ty, what's wrong with the guy you sit next to? Especially as we're moments away from going back live on ESPN, YouTube, ESPN Plus, TikTok, which we got slightly less than 9 months.
Bye-bye.
Careful. No, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, they got to figure it out. Somebody's got to buy this.
Yeah.
Some bazillionaire's got to buy it.
I will miss Talk, but it was a good run.
No, Talk has sent me numerous gifts about, like,
Please.
he has sent me numerous.
Please.
find a buyer for TikTok, Pat.
It's a good platform.
A lot of positivity on there. Now, allegedly, the way it can be used or potentially manipulated is what is the fear of everything, but obviously we are never the stooges that look that deep into it. There has to be some sort of resolution here. Some bazillionaire needs to buy it. Okay, that's what we need. But we'll be live on all those platforms on Thursday night, but also live on Facebook.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they still did that on the book.
No. Good to know.
We'll be live on Facebook for a generation that potentially isn't as savvy with the internet. We'll be live on basically any social media platform and also any website that you can log into. Sure. You guys have been doing that since the AOL days. You can figure it out.
Yep.
One half of the Hammer, Cowboys, Ton Dix here. What is wrong with Toxic Table member at Boston Connor?
I think he's just looking around and, he saw something and a person he cares very deeply and dearly about is going through a little bit of a tough time. And he's just trying to figure out, hey, what's going on
Why
here?
is he so giddy about it?
Joining us now.
I'm just happy.
Why
is that a problem on a Tuesday?
Joining us now live. No, it's not.
Okay.
Keep it coming.
Thank you. I will.
Joining us now live from Manhattan, Ohio is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a former 5 overall pick. So rich for so long. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
You should see what's happening over here.
Why is Connor so happy about some struggles that a fellow friend might be going through? What happened?
None of us truly understand, but he was yelling as this show was coming back on, yelling. It was echoing through the Thunderdome, but that's what we have to deal with every single day as this show kind of rolls on for a couple hours talking about numerous things happening around the pop culture world, the sports world.
Exactly. I was just as happy last week on Friday when I found that new cool song that I loved.
Yeah, you were yelling, which is, what was the song?
Live Like That
Way Forever.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
From
the Iron Claw with Zac Efron and those guys.
And I do like that you find things that make you scream in joy.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. You need more of that.
I get juiced up, man. I get zeked up when I hear a good news
Not
song.
enough people are doing that, I don't think.
Yeah, well, you might as well enjoy the stuff you really like because when you hate the stuff you really hate, you got to kind of balance it on both sides.
Yeah, well, people say you can't, ride the ebbs and flows. You got to just stay here. Yep. You say, to hell with that. When we're up here, we need to celebrate this. We need to remember that because these days are coming.
Yes.
So when you're up here, we need to go ahead and ride that wave, and you do so by yelling as loud as you possibly can for not just like a 4 or 5 second yell. We're talking one yell, and then we got a follow-up one, and then one more punctuating the first two. So it's like a full celebration that happens. It is electrifying, and it just happened as we were going live. And AJ, speaking of electrifying, last night the NBA and the NHL had a phenomenal night. An absolutely phenomenal night. We just talked to PK Subban. It was a phenomenal convo. We'll be talking to Austin Rivers in about 25 minutes or so.
Okay.
Austin Rivers, 11-year NBA vet, obviously on ESPN. Son of the Doc. Rivers, obviously, his team's in there. I cannot wait to chat with him. Kendrick Perkins was not able to make it because he had to go pick something up. We will get Perkins back on the show, I think.
At some point.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yes.
What the hell's going on with Perkins?
We need him in studio again, hitting some shots from the stage.
Something's happening because when he left here, the vibe from Perk was
Didn't it feel great?
He said he found his home.
He was awesome.
What happened? I think potential schedule. It's all scheduling stuff, I do believe.
Puppeteers, man.
Okay, that's what Connor's.
You're saying he's being controlled by somebody?
I don't know anything. I'm just saying in recent memory in the history of stuff when people like doing things, then they can't do them out of nowhere anymore.
It's all
something's
scheduling.
afoot.
No, it's scheduling, I think, because the way we operate is like very last minute.
Yeah,
which
for
we
sure.
are. So that's 100% on us. I think it is an issue. So Austin Rivers going to join us was great news. We cannot wait to chit-chat with him. But in the NBA last night, you're talking about 2 finals of games that are going to be replayed for years, not just this playoff season. Leading into next year's season, they're going to be replayed. Next year's playoffs are going to be replayed going on. I mean, DiVincenzo knocking down that 3 after a steal on an inbound pass, after getting a Kawhi Leonard bounce for Jalen Brunson for a 3 who hadn't been playing a great game in Madison Square Garden against the Sixers in a comeback that hasn't happened in that particular building since maybe Reggie Miller did it to the Knicks and then gave the choke signal to Spike Lee and everybody in New York. It's just like, what a magical moment. And then the environment around it, it lived up to a playoff game hype. This looked like a finals game as the place goes apeshit. whole city loses their mind. That's what sports are for. In there, those hands that are up, you can't see exactly who they are. Different backgrounds, different beliefs, different opinions, different socioeconomic classes, probably not at the bottom, but in the entire arena, you know what we're saying? Everybody not thinking about shit, but the fact that a miracle just seemingly took place to steal this game and get a win in the playoffs. It's like, this is why sports are magical, AJ.
Yeah, I was watching this live. This is another iconic moment that I think you'll see replayed over and over from MSG. But yeah, he's not going to miss the second one here. But Haverstein, right? Is that how you say it, Haverstein? We've been talking. I know you guys talked about it a little bit earlier. Hardenstein, my bad.
He's a black man, by the way. We learned on a podcast.
Yeah, on Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart's.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. But this was like, he didn't. It's not a coming out party for him. But did you see earlier in the game they took him out?
I just learned that guy's black. Yes,
he got a standing ovation when they took him out in like the end of the third quarter or something. Like this dude, all over the place, and a gigantic reason why they won this thing.
One of my favorite, learning his story. I couldn't even fathom his life. I couldn't even fathom his life. After learning about it on the podcast. What podcast was that?
It's Josh Hart's and Jalen Brunson. It's like best friends, two best friends.
It was awesome. Listening to him talk, it was an incredible moment. And then you see him just take over a game.
Yeah.
It is, I don't want to say you're right coming out. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but
he's like a cult hero there now, I feel like.
I just learned of him very recently. I am a massive fan of everything about him. That Knicks team, though, people have been talking about them being good for a long time. Big Perk has been talking about it. Knicks fans have been talking about them maybe able to do that. They do. How about, Mike Greenberg a couple weeks ago said that the Los Angeles Lakers should have rested their starters so that they lose to the Pelicans. So the Pelicans, in turn, would then take on, this Nuggets team, and then the Lakers would take on OKC, you see. So the Nuggets have been the Los Angeles Lakers' Achilles heel, because Joker and Malone and Murray are just so mean to LeBron and AD and the Lakers. They even have people chanting that they're the Lakers' daddy. So Mike Greenberg said, you did not sign up for that in the first round. And I think Greenberg's maybe saying that because he would like LeBron James to continue in the playoffs. Okay, that is certainly good for everybody, conversation and chatter. But then after the Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Lakers in the first game, and it looks like it's going to be what it is, Mike Greenberg took a victory lap. Here's him on Get Up saying that he was right all along. This ain't the smoke that the Lakers won in the first round.
Just said the most important thing. Nikola Jokic will get him in foul trouble. It's a bad matchup for him. It's a bad matchup for them.
Give me a matchup then. What matchup is better?
You know what's better? Oklahoma City would have been better for the Lakers. Alan and I were right. You can say whatever you want. If the Lakers had lost that game on Tuesday night in the play-in, they would have then played Sacramento, who, oh, by the way, lost to a Zion-less Pelicans team, and so now the Lakers would be playing Oklahoma City. So everyone who made fun of us, primarily me, but you too, for saying that they should have lost and the coach can say whatever they want, at the end of the day, the Lakers have no one. They're not beating Denver. If they win a game, it will be success.
Okay. Hey, Greeny, I like where your head's at. I think what a lot of other people are saying is you're rolling the dice a lot on a Sacramento win for the Lakers if you just rest on the first night and then go ahead and take that on. It's literally just a one-game play-in as opposed to what, the Pelicans lost and then they win in there. So you're rolling the dice because if they rest and then they lose, obviously it's... So is that a smart decision or not? But nonetheless, this Nuggets team, if they're going to be down 20, come back and win, and then have these type of fadeaways hit in Anthony Davis's eyeball to win the entire game, it's like, here we go. Fourth quarter, obviously electrifying. LeBron James had a phenomenal evening. Blocked Jamal Murray on a dunk. He would then happen to miss a three-point opportunity when the game was tied 99-99. A lot of people just pointing to that, but refusing to point out the rest of the game that LeBron James had, which was phenomenal. The Nuggets are the reigning champs for a reason. Jamal Murray in the playoffs has seemingly just been able to find a bucket better than almost anybody else in the league. And with this fadeaway in AD's eye to win it in Denver. I know Peyton Manning was in the crowd. Stokely was in the crowd. I think there was a bunch of people. They described that as like they just won the championship again. And this is the reigning champs. There's so many different angles of this. My favorite might be the photo that the Denver Nuggets posted on their social media. It's like 8K, and you can zoom in on all the audience members' face, and everybody is tuned in to the shot. What a moment, what a night. Great for the NBA to not only have the Knicks, but this one from the reigning champs with a little moment of magic, AJ.
So with Greeny's whole situation, when he's kind of taking a victory, I'm not saying the Lakers are in a weird spot. They can't risk that and lose that game and do all that. But if they would have lost and still got in the playoffs, we're playing OKC, great team, but not Joker, not Jamal Murray, not the rest of the squad. I mean, these guys are unbelievable. So I get what he's saying. They were just in a weird spot where you can't really drop a game there.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of people are saying. And Greeny was defiant. And you said, "Is his finger all right?" That that's a page turner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. Because he always kind of has that finger condom on there.
Yeah. It's the first time I sat down with him at the table, I looked down at his hand. I was like, "This guy's got exactly there's a condom on this guy's finger."
Yep.
What are we?
For speed.
What are we doing with our fingers here in the middle of the day? Is he dipping it in water? He doesn't want his actual What are we? Is he What are we doing?
Sense.
It's a page turner, so it doesn't get paper cuts.
Makes sense.
And you don't have to lick your. You have to do this whole thing. This whole thing. Smart play.
Get one.
Guys in 2 Hall of Fames for a good reason. This photo, though, I don't know who the photographer was. I just saw that the Nuggets tweeted it out. It's in like 45K. You can zoom in on each individual person's face.
Man.
And it's like, what a memory of this is going to be a
lot
poster.
of people actually watch it. A lot of people actually watching the game. Like, that's awesome.
Look at the guy crouched down like he's a coach.
Yeah.
Right there in the middle. And then you go to like there's one camera there next to him. You got the professional camera people. Everybody else dialed in, plugged in. That's a beautiful moment in 2024.
Yeah.
And the fact that fell and they got to experience that, even more so, why sports are just the greatest thing ever. Look, even there's nobody with a phone out. Everybody's in. Everybody's in.
Yeah, so sick.
This is what Ryan Smith wants to create in Utah.
With the Utah Jazz, obviously, they're in the middle of trying to get to this point, and I think their fans would act like this. Yeah. But the Denver fans, I think, have proven, not only for the Nuggets over the last run or whatever they had, and I assume before then, okay, I know back when Melo was with the Nuggets, and hey, I get it, okay? But, like, the Broncos fans are great.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Denver fans are a great fan base. The Avalanche fans are great fans. It's like, last night was a magical moment. That's what these leagues are dreaming of whenever they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, like for the NBA, for the first round to be going the way it is, like obviously the series a lot of them are 2-0 and the favorites are winning. But the fact that they're close, I feel like is a big deal. Like even OKC New Orleans, that came down to the last possession. The amount of times that happens for a 1 and an 8 seed in any game is incredible. So the fact that that's happening is huge. And then obviously the NHL is doing their thing. Sports are very much alive right now.
Yeah, very much alive. And we don't even get a chance to really, chat about the NBA during the regular season because of how long the regular season is.
Yeah.
But like the NBA playoffs is its own season.
Oh yeah.
It is so long. Every game is prime. Yeah, same with the NHL. It's like the playoffs are their own season with the length in which they are and the amount of games, I think, from most other sports. And it's all prime time. Like tonight, there's 8 games or 7 games happening. 1, 2, 3, 7 games happening tonight in the NBA and NHL, and they're all going to be electric. Yeah. It is a fantastic Tuesday.
Are they all playing on draft night as well, or are they staying away? How does that work?
So the NHL has playoffs on draft night. They're going to be on ESPN2. That's why we are not. We will be only on social media, and we completely understand that. That seems like a bad decision, though.
For sure.
That feels like a bad decision by the NHL, but I don't know how TV contracts work and everything like that. But like, there's going to be 7 sporting events tonight that are going to be electric to watch, whether you know what the hell the sport is or not in this entire thing.
I think every time we talk to someone too, or like you guys talk about, like the speed, how it changes in the playoffs, I think a lot of people scoff at that. It's like, okay, whatever. Like I've watched a basketball game or I've watched a hockey game before, but it really is crazy. Like if you watch regular season hockey or you watch regular season basketball and then kind of tune out for a while and you watch the playoffs, like it is almost like watching a different game because every possession truly does matter. Like it's not like, oh, these guys, they're going to take 3 to 4 possessions off. Nobody's playing defense. Like they lock in for the entire time. Like it really does feel like it's almost a different game.
Yeah, you talked about all the games last night. 2 NHL games, 2 NBA games in the quad box, and then you had Monday Night Raw and Columbus on the phone. There was brain overload.
Hey, we had a brand new women's world champion last night.
Wow.
Becky Lynch.
Shout out
Becky Lynch.
Should have been Lynch.
Saw the General Bob Carpenter last night. He was jacked. His kids were all in. It was sweet to see him. It was a great night in Columbus. I enjoyed the hell out of it. For the 4th time in the history of the WWE, a battle royal decided a world champion. Rhea Ripley had to vacate the championship because she was injured backstage by Liv Morgan's revenge tour.
Okay, well, soon, Mommy.
What's the injury? What is it?
Shoulder. I think it's a shoulder. I think
Surgery?
Yeah, I think we got surgery coming. I think.
That's a shame.
I don't know. No, they don't tell me really shit, which is a good move. But you vacate the champ. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like you're only doing that if you have to you're gone. So Battle Royal was a great way to decide it. In the Mon, Becky Lynch came around to Columbus and regained her women's world championship. Bruce has a shirt on today. Bruce is all jacked up. He's got a Knicks starter jacket on, 3/4 zip, and then he's got the Becky Lynch thing on. This guy's flying high. This guy's flying high right now.
Title's back where it belongs, baby.
Yeah, with the man.
He still owes some people a lot of money from her losing at WrestleMania, actually.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, you're all boozed up, taking bets around the restaurant.
Down $1,000.
I'll bet 1,000 with you for sure. I go Becky over Mommy. So what? Anybody else want it? 1,000? Yeah, you are down multiple thousands of dollars.
Yes, he hasn't paid up like $1,500.
I think it's total rack. We'll double or nothing.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Because she's champion now, so might as well wipe it off.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Sports right now are throwing a fastball. Speaking of, baseball still happening?
Oh, yeah.
We're not paying attention, or we are? What's going on?
No. There are baseball games every day.
I saw there was one game the other day, went 10 innings, and there were 0 runs. So what is that baseball, or is that just like
pitcher's battle?
That's what it's called, a pitcher's duel, AJ, not a pitcher's battle. But yeah, you're going to get that every once in a while. So the one nice thing about those is now with the pitch clock, those games are like an hour and a half, which, in years past, if you get a 0-0 game going into extras and you're spending 4.5 hours on that, yeah, you got a bone to pick. But now, hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, you're in, you're out. It's not bad.
And one of the Hundo boys went last night, Jared Jones, who is setting a record every single time he goes out and pitches now, made a batter look like a baby deer.
Yeah, I had a guy fall over.
Yeah, that was incredible.
For a strikeout, not just for strike one.
No.
That was that guy had seen pitches from him before.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the first surprise. And he does the swing is actually him with the bat cocked, falling and spinning in the batter's box. It's that type of shit, though, that is great for baseball. For instance, yesterday, middle of the show, legendary baseball thing.
Yes, all time.
Legendary. Human we did not know exists, but we certainly should have been told about him a long time ago.
We've probably all seen this type of guy 150 times.
We've seen this build. We've seen this build behind the plate for sure. Hunter Wenderstottel.
Yep.
Okay. He kicked out Aaron Boone, manager of the Yankees, in maybe after the second pitch
potentially
of Yankees athletics game yesterday started, because a fan talked shit to Hunter Wenderstottel, and he just turned around and said, "That's it, you're out of here." Because previously to the fan talking shit to Aaron Boone, he told Aaron Boone, "You do one more thing and you're gone," with some real pizzazz.
Yep.
"You're gone," he said to him, just to set the tone earlier. And then he turns his head back to, here it is. Okay? Boom. I didn't say anything. I didn't say shit. I was just checking my nails. It was the fan. It was literally that guy in the blue. They have a video of the guy in the blue saying it. And Hunter Wenderstottel said, "I don't care." And Aaron Boone says, "What do you mean you don't care? I didn't do anything wrong. You're going to kick me out of the game. I'm the manager of the New York Yankees. We're 2 pitches into this game. We're trying to act like these things matter, and then you're just kicking me out after my fan." Hunter Wenderstottel said, "I don't care. You need to get the hell off the dime. That ain't on me." Well, Hunter Wenderstottel was asked about it post-game, and you would assume that by then he would have learned that maybe it actually wasn't Aaron Boone, and we have cameras literally everywhere about everything. He goes, "Nah, there's a guy on the bench."
Yeah.
It's a guy on the bench, and I said, it's like, Wenderstottel. We know who it is.
Yeah.
We actually saw the person say it, and we heard it. So him doubling down is just another fantastic episode. A power-hungry, badge-heavy umpires and ref showcasing their power without us understanding that they're completely wrong. Ty, this is good for baseball in my eyes.
Sure.
But if I was playing baseball, I'd be pissed that this is how this whole thing goes.
Yeah, I feel like this is the kind of stuff that, will typically come back around. Maybe a catcher lines up and lets one slide through, maybe hits the tip of his glove, and Wendelstottel's going to have a boulder-sized welt on his leg, maybe catches one in the nuts.
Oh, so there's maybe a middle finger fastball coming towards an umpire here.
Potentially, if he's behind the plate for another
How many of those
game.
have Angel Hernandez? You think he has more of a hit rate than any other umpire since we're learning about him?
There's a good chance. I think guys in general just kind of hate him, and they don't want to do something like that because then they know he's going to squeeze their zone down even more than he already does. So I think they kind of just, hey, I'm going to throw 100 pitches on any given day. 85 of them will be strikes. Only 60 of them are going to be strikes today. And I just kind of got to figure, like Randy Johnson said, don't have my best stuff today. Just got to figure out a way to get outs and get through this game.
And play the umpire. And that's why baseball is great, because all the shit around baseball, guy falling as an at-bat. Not really baseball, but definitely baseball.
Yeah. Sweet.
Great. Hunter Wendelstottel abusing his power. Not really actual baseball, but baseball and very sweet.
Piece of metal.
And guys throwing 100, that's what they're playing for. Their commissioner said that. And then 102 mile an hour fastballs, we like to see that. Let's talk about John Lynch talking about his team, more specifically, BA, Brandon Ayuk. John Lynch, former player, obviously Hall of Famer, a stud, a stallion, former analyst on TV. We're all big fans. What he's done as a general manager is obviously build a super team. So much so that Brock Purdy actually gets to talk shit about because of how good of a team that John Lynch built alongside Shanahan in San Francisco. He's staring down another potential dramatic situation. Controversy potentially on the horizon. San Francisco 49ers have another wide receiver who wants big money. Here's John Lynch definitely giving us an answer that we can decide what the hell is happening, Ron.
And before, questions, I know a couple years ago there was a lot of talk about another receiver, Debo, and I said the same thing, but with BA, I've communicated on a couple occasions, on many occasions, our wish. And our wish is that he's here and a part of the Niners for the rest of his career. Okay. We're working through that. And, as such, I was a player once and I never liked my business being out in the public. And so I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to speak for their side. I can say we're having good talks and I'm just going to leave it at that. And we'll focus on the draft here today. But that's
yeah. So don't ask any questions.
I understand you guys have a job to do and respect that, but that's kind of the tone I'm going to take there. So.
My tone is this. Here's my answer. Okay, about Brandon Ayuk. We're having talks. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody. I'd like him to be a Niner forever. How do you think it's going? Because at one point of that answer, I'm like, oh, they're in discussions right now. This deal might be done. There might be a deal coming soon. And then also like, wait a minute, is this going to... That was a great answer by John Lynch in the I can't say shit, but I have to give an answer business that is GMs and press conferences around this time of year, AJ.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm trying to decipher exactly like how much progress they may have, how close they could possibly be to a new deal because, yeah, John Lynch understands. He's been a player. He's been in contract situations like that. But as a GM, you can't keep everybody, so you got to figure out how much it's going to be against the cap, all of that situation, and what's most likely going to happen? Is something going to happen Thursday night?
Who knows, dude? Literally, there is zero indications of anything, which is why they've played this so close to the vest. I mean, Ayuk, I think we've learned from his actions. He unfollowed the 49ers on his Instagram.
That's right.
He took photos off.
Yep.
He's not happy. He broke up with them. Still in a contract, but he broke up with them. It's like same thing did happen with Debo a couple years back. And we didn't know how the future was going to look between the Niners and Debo. And Debo is still walking out first with the bump box whenever they're coming out for every game because they were able to get a deal done. I think Lynch is in a situation where he has so many weapons, so many great players, has to make a decision, has to negotiate on that base because you're only allowed to spend so much money. But Ayuk's the number one in a lot of places. I could see there being a lot of interest for BA around the league, especially as we lead up to this particular NFL draft.
Well, and that's why him referencing like the Debo thing, like absolutely, that was a situation they had to pay him, but that was before like they paid anybody over there. Like Ayuk would be the second guy that they'd be paying there. They already paid Kittle. The Purdy contract has to be looming too. Like that's one more year, and then they have to pay him what?
The defense too.
Upwards of $200. Yeah, and then the defense that they all had to pay. Like I get the Debo situation as a Patriots fan who wants Ayuk to be traded. I kind of got the feeling that he wasn't going to be traded from John Lynch, that they are going to get a deal done because of the salary cap gymnastics you can do. But the situations are completely different, right? Because of the fact that QB contract is coming, and when they paid Debo, there wasn't a sense of like, hey, we got to reset the quarterback market soon here.
What are they saying about the wide receiver in this draft class?
Deep.
Right?
Very.
So I would assume no moves will be made until after the draft for Brandon Ayuk because some team who maybe thought they were going to get somebody or missed out on somebody, maybe they're still with a hole that needs to be filled if he was to be moved. And then maybe we do get an announcement going into draft night. An Ayuk deal gets done. That from his answer right there, I could see it going both directions very easily, which is why I'm sure he's pretty pumped up that he gave it and then said, I'm not answering any more questions as we move forward.
To your point about after the draft, too, I feel like we're always surprised what these guys go for. Like, right now people are thinking it's got to be a 1, but it could be a day 2 trade, like where some team thought they were going to get one of these wide receivers in the first round. They're all gone, didn't get them. Could be a day 2 trade. Like, we have no idea at all because we're always surprised at how little these guys actually get traded.
Yeah, because he's coming to the Colts, right? Brandon Ayuk.
Well, probably not, but to Tony's point, like Snead. Like Snead was one of the number one or at least top 3, free agent or guys available after he got tagged, and he got traded for a 2nd and a 5th. And it was like, how the hell is that what he's going for when he's coming off first team All-Pro season.
Randy Moss was a force.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Everybody
Can you pay Ayuk to be a 1, though? He obviously wants
Devontae was a 2, right?
wide receiver 1 money.
I don't know if the Niners can. Especially
how does it affect the rest of your roster and all the other contracts you have looming on the horizon and all the money you're already paying the guy?
But with the rookie quarterback, you can pay more people, especially if it's pick whatever 292.
When do they have to pay him? When do they have to pay Brock?
2 years.
Yeah.
So they can give him a front-loaded 2-year deal. I mean, that's what I was trying to think about. Like, can the Niners make it? They have money everywhere, though. They have like the second or highest paid person at like 6 different positions.
Yes.
Remember we seen the graphic? And that's why people kill Brock Purdy. But it's like Brock Purdy's the reason why they can do that. That is a pretty vital part of the entire process. So they can front load that thing maybe and get a deal done with Ayuk that would satisfy what he's looking for.
They could for sure, probably. And we always talk about the reason why we're so excited. I mean, the Steelers are paying their quarterbacks, I think, a total of $6 million this year. And I think the Patriots are currently paying $8 million before the potential rookie comes on. So, yeah, if you're in a situation where you're not paying your quarterback that much, you could definitely afford him.
Let's talk about another GM who didn't say shit. Monty Ossenfort, GM of the Arizona Cardinals, spoke next to Gannon, the head coach for the Cardinals. And this is how he went about what his strategy could potentially be.
How many players do you have on your board, and how many do you have graded as a first round?
Again, we don't necessarily talk first round. It's not really a language we use. We talk about roles and where they fit on our team. In terms of number of guys that we have on our board, it's a little bit of a moving target. I mean, I'd say we have guys that are up there, but I would say, there's a focus number that we're more interested in. I wouldn't say it's an extensive number. We put these guys got to check a lot of boxes for us to be guys that we want to add to our program. So hard for me to give you a number on that, John.
0 chance you're getting that answer.
Hey, I love that, by the way. I think everybody that's talked about Gannon said they love him. We kind of saw the shot and then fire in the gut. Who rode the bus here? That whole
we did see all that. I almost forgot.
That was the first introduction.
Was that day one of camp or OTAs? He opened up with the whole bus thing.
That was day one of OTAs. The shot was before. That was his first day.
Just introductory.
Yeah. I mean, there was the rollout from the social team, I think, of Gannon was certainly one particular way that made us go, oh, this is who this guy is. And then you talk to everybody and they're like, Gannon's the dude. Gannon is. And you see the way that team played last year, you would assume they're in a good spot, but they're sitting there with the number 4 overall pick and they're in a beautiful spot, AJ, especially if people are talking like Schrager came on earlier. He's like 6 quarterbacks in the first round. What if one of these teams that's looking to get 5 or 6 quarterback gets a little antsy? They come moving up. All of a sudden the Cardinals are sitting there. Now, they said it is open for sale, but they're not going to make a deal until maybe draft night takes place. Everybody can say that. It's like the Cardinals are in a great spot, I think, personally.
They are. From what I gathered from Monty Ossenfort there is that they don't have a whole lot of first round grades out there, huh? When he said it's not an extensive list.
It's not a number. We don't talk like that, you idiot. So.
And Schrager said 16 earlier.
Yeah, and what does that mean? Yeah, blue chip.
Check a lot of boxes. He made it sound like, it's really tough. I don't know. We got a handful of guys, maybe.
And then Gannon goes, you were never going to get an answer to that.
Yeah.
And Gannon knows the deal because right before they got up there, they said, we're not saying shit.
Yeah, you better shut your mouth.
We're not saying shit to anybody about nothing. Okay, we're in a great spot right now. We can change our entire franchise.
Yeah.
One move on Thursday night if somebody gets desperate, so let's make sure we don't give anything away. And then they did team on me, team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team. And then Monty gives that answer, and Gannon's like sticking to the game plan.
Yeah.
We're like, what you doing
Love
there?
this guy.
Joining us now is a man who was drafted in the 10th overall, I think, in the NBA draft. I don't know enough about him, but I'm excited to chit-chat with him. 11-year NBA vet. Obviously, we've seen him do his thing on ESPN. He is phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Rivers.
I love the intro. I don't
know enough. Okay. I don't know enough. This came out of nowhere. You answered the call in very short time, so we would like to say, we'd like to say thank you, Austin.
Austin. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure, seriously.
Hopefully, we'll get to do this more often as we go through this playoffs, and the NBA playoffs have been electrifying. Now,
that'd be great.
Home teams completely undefeated in the playoffs, Austin. For us that have not played in an NBA game, but only been to NBA games, it feels like not only are the fans on top of the bench, but they're on top of the court. Home court, big-time advantage, especially in the playoffs? Or why do you think we're seeing the trend of all the home teams win right now? 8-3 against the spread as well, so it's seemingly being dominant as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely just an energy to being at home. Having that natural energy on your side, whether it's you coming back from a run or going on a run, the crowd, the pressure, the feeling, it all goes into your advantage. That's why you see usually, obviously, why home court is such a prized possession to have during the regular season. That's why the Lakers are obviously in hot water right now. They're such a great team that's played 2 great games, but you find yourself on the road versus the best team. It just makes it even harder, right? So you have that, and then to quickly add to that, usually the team that has home court advantage is the better team. So we're just seeing right now the teams handle business. That's what we're seeing so far in the playoffs, at least.
Yeah, and it's been electrifying environments. I mean, just
big time.
That shit last night with Jamal Murray after making that shot with the 12K photo that they have.
Yes.
Everybody in the building is on either standing or crouching or praying or whatever, and then full explosion for the reigning champs. It's like those moments right there don't come around often.
Unbelievable.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the NBA playoffs are creating them right now. Let alone what happened for the Knicks last night in Madison Square Garden. It's like the NBA playoffs are delivering, even though the home teams are continuing to win. It's a beautiful time. Go ahead, AJ.
So that Denver-LA series, if you are the Lakers, first off, do you think they have a chance to find a way to win this thing? And who on the horizon could possibly stop Denver with Joker and Jamal Murray and everyone else they have? Like, it seems like they're solid everywhere you look.
Well, in regards to the Lakers, I feel for them because they played such a great game. They're up 20. They let that collapse. But they outplayed Denver most of the game. And they even outplayed Denver the first 3 quarters in the first game. They have not found ways to close like the Nuggets do. And that's my question with them is, if the game comes down to like a 2 or 3 point game, man, I have a hard time betting on the Lakers pulling out games. The Nuggets finished the game the same way. They played through Jamal Murray, they played through Nikola Jokic. It's a pick and roll. You know it's going to happen. They make reads, and they just find best shot available. Aaron Gordon's in the dunker. Michael Porter Jr. is in the corner. Caldwell Pope's in the corner. Jamal Murray, Jokic, pick and roll. That's just what's happening. And the Lakers, I don't know what they're going to do. I couldn't tell you right now. I know LeBron's going to have the ball and AD will have it, but I don't know how they're going to get to their spots or what shot they're trying to get. It's very up in the air. So I don't know if I have them. I have them winning a game at home for sure, but I have the series going 6 games to the Nuggets' advantage. And in terms of who can give them a shot, right now I'd have to say the Clippers, but they don't have Kawhi Leonard, and for them to have a shot, he has to be healthy.
Whoa, Austin! There's some news out of the internet. Kawhi Leonard was at shoot-around just moments ago for the Clippers, and the line goes from them being underdogs by 2.5 points to favorites by 1.5 points on a couple of the sports books. That literally just came as you were giving an answer right there. That just popped up. Yeah. So this just came through here from John Ewing. Shout out. Yeah, Kawhi's there. So I guess what the books are saying, and maybe they think this alluding to, is that Kawhi's maybe going to play. I think that would be what that is saying.
Yeah, or he's near. If he's going to play in the next couple of games, I think they win this series, and they're the biggest threat to the Denver Nuggets just due to their depth. They have multiple guys that can close games. They have multiple guys that can play through and make plays off and on the ball. And it seems like they're gelling really well. Russell Westbrook's done a great job taking the bench role. James is a third guy. PG's a second guy. Kawhi's the leader. It just seems like they're falling in line. They got a lot of scoring there. Zubac's been huge. They have some size. Overall, they're the only team I think that can compete and really send them to a 7-game series. I think is the Clippers. Yeah,
I love that Joker is just so damn dominant. You know, and then he plays that whole. We had a full conversation.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we had a full conversation earlier because last year whenever he was told about the parade being on a Wednesday, he was like, "Oh God, who tell horse?" Because he was supposed to get back home and buy a horse or see a horse, and then in the offseason, the only photos of it, you see him sit on the back of that wooden thing that's behind a damn horse, and it's like, oh, we went to go see him over there. What you do? Well, he had to go to his barn because he had horse races that were going on that particular day. This dude's got to work his absolute dick off in the offseason to be who he is, right? This is all gimmick. The whole nonchalant show up first day of training camp, shoes untied, sitting down watching highlights of the horse races, not acting like you're happy to be there because he all season shows up. In the playoffs, he's never rattled. He's so this is what we see of him in the offseason. That's going to a barn to work out, right? Like, this is all a gimmick for this Joker guy. And is there a chance we talk about him when it's all said and done as like one of the greatest players to ever exist? We have to, right?
Absolutely. I've seen people say things. I saw Gilbert say that he was like the worst MVP. the guy who's about to win his third one can't be the worst one. He's one of the greatest players to ever play, and he's going to go down as that when it's all said and done. Absolutely. And in terms of how he is off the court, man, just playing there in Denver for 2 years, he has the ability to, when it's over, to shut it off. Most guys take work home with them. We all do, no matter what we do in life, right? He's one of those guys that just doesn't do that. He goes right to his horse races, or he watches FIBA basketball, or he'll go have a beer. He's able to clock out like that. But when he's at work, this guy's an animal. I mean, he works extremely hard. He's there every single day getting his treatment. He lifts after the games. And I know, like, you'll see like little videos of guys doing these little workouts. Like, Jokic really gets in there and gets after it. He's always on the court. I just think in the summertime, obviously, he always has deep postseason runs. He's a guy that kind of can check out for like a month or two. So you'll see like a photo of him like on the back of a horse. Like, he doesn't even work hard. Like, I mean, he's resting his body. The following month, if you saw him, he's a beast. It's a beast.
Yeah, and there's obviously everything he does looks awesome.
Yeah,
like he did 3 spin moves on that guy right there. It just, and then it gets wide. He's so smooth.
And one.
And it's moving like, it's like Luka, but different. It's like they look like
great comparison.
Thank you.
Big basketball show.
Yeah, and also
there you go.
Yeah, yeah, come on. I mean, we're doing this whole thing. They look like they're moving so slow, but then they're putting you exactly where they want you to. So it's like a cerebral strategy shit happening as well. It's been fun to learn about the Joker, the entire story, but him finding out that parade was on Wednesday as opposed to the next day, and they were expecting him to be there, and he was like, I can't do this.
And then got hammered at the parade and was like, thank God I didn't go home.
I love parade. Yeah, what did he say? He said, I once said I didn't want to parade.
Yeah.
I want to parade.
Every day.
It's like, yeah, what a legend, dude.
A couple beers to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Tone has a question for you about another dog, I do believe.
Yeah, Austin, you just played with Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man. Could you imagine at this age, 22, I believe he is, this young, that he would, like, he's obviously taken his game another level this year, and then the game 1 against KD was unbelievable. Did you see that when you were there last year?
Absolutely. There's certain guys, I mean, I know you guys know it just from covering sports, where you see someone's energy and aura and know it's like, I don't want to say not authentic, but it's just like, it's choreographed, it's rehearsed. They got a publicist, they got this guy, they got this guy, even to their fashion, everything just seems celebrity-like. And to Ant, there's just this refreshing aura of just complete, just raw energy, man. Like, and he is unapologetic, and people like him for it. You know what I mean? He is who he is. He has that. Look at that. I mean, that's against one of the greatest scorers of all time, Kevin Durant. Here you have it, his idol. He's giving the business, pumping his chest, talking his cash. I mean, that is like, I couldn't imagine being that young, having that type of success in the league, on and off the court. Adidas campaigns, crushing it with him. I'm sure it's only going to grow. The Sprite with Grant Hill is amazing. Like, he's the guy. We
should have won an Emmy. He should have won an Emmy in that one movie with Adam.
He was fantastic. Yeah, he was fantastic in that. Hustle. Yeah, he was great. And he's a hard worker. He does workouts where he only shoots it off the glass so he can focus. Like, he'll have a 45-minute workout like every week where he just works on all jump shots, threes, mid-range, only can use glass. If he doesn't use glass, it doesn't count. Like, full hard workouts. He pushes himself. Listen, he's the guy. It's only one game. I can't wait for tonight to see the rebuttal from KD and Devin, especially because people, I think, are sleeping on that two-guard matchup. They're battling for who's the best two-guard in the NBA. Yeah, it's been great to see Ant really come into who he is, man. You saw it last year in flashes, but now it's every game, especially defensively.
Him getting the MVP chance afterwards and him like acknowledging it and then saying "believe that" or whatever. It's like the moxie on this man is something that we need to see more of in sport.
You can't teach it.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have a PR person. We know that.
No,
we've heard about a couple stories, throughout the year, and we love it. Hey, and that's why we love it. That's why we love it.
He's just a dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just a dog.
Absolutely. It's a competitive world, though.
Yeah.
And that's he's not going to make it. When you're in the public eye and you're an uber competitive person, Every person that's ever been at the top of sports has talked about some of the things that they've had to sacrifice to remain the human and the dog that they are. It's like, and when you're in the public eye in the modern world, it's like you're going to make some mistakes. You just got to hopefully learn from them, keep moving forward, and become the face of a league potentially. Yeah. And that's what Ant-Man potentially is going to do. And we're lucky to be a part.
100%.
He's got another 10 years. Mm-hmm. So it seems like
that's the thing.
Go ahead. Yeah, what's that, Austin? Go ahead.
No, I said that's the thing though. Just that he has. We're not even in his prime. This isn't his prime. His prime is like 3 years away from now. Like I'm talking about next year, the year after that year. We're not even like near his best basketball. It's crazy.
I don't believe. Is that real?
He's not 22.
Yeah, he's young as hell.
Yeah, but how?
His prime will be, bro, Pat. When he's like 27, when he's 26, 27, he'll be the best player in the NBA.
What about Wemby? That guy's an alien, actual. He'll be in the league too.
That guy will be right there with him. I think it's going to be like I don't want to say Kobe Shaq dynamic, but like he'll be the most dominant player, and then like Ant's going to be the most skilled. Just he's going to be dominant in his own way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Like they're both going to coexist in that era. I think as the two most prominent players in the league.
Future of NBA, very, very, very bright and big and athletic.
Hell yeah.
And just like you are not from here. Neither are you.
Mm-hmm.
You are. We can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe too much. Yeah. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Austin. Obviously, your entire career, you're pretty locked down on the defensive end. And, Pat and AJ always talk about this in the NFL, that when it gets to the playoffs, the speed just kind of goes up a little. In the NBA, would you say that people just say, okay, now it's time to play defense? Or how does it work for the NBA kind of transitioning from that 82-game season to kind of its own regular season in the playoffs? Because, I mean, even the Bucks team account tweeted yesterday, like, hey, guess what? 82 games, no one gives a shit. Regular season doesn't really matter anymore. How does that dynamic change in the NBA, at least from the player perspective?
You know what? It goes from regular season games, there's a game every other night, right? Every other night you have a game, back-to-backs. You're just flying. It's always a new opponent, new schemes, new strategy. So sometimes I think it's human nature for a player. It's not that it gets lost upon you. It's just, each game is important, but it's just like it's 82 games. In a playoffs, you're preparing for one team to play them possibly 7 times. You get a clipboard, a clipbook of the other team's plays, and you have to know every single play on that team. So going into game 1, they already know every set. By the time it's game 4 or 5, that's really when you see the best basketball in a playoff series, because the plays are only going to work so much. Execution's important, but everyone knows each other's plays. That's when the hoopers come out. That's when the ball players play. And there's just a different level. You feel it. You see it right now. I think even it took the Thunder by surprise. They're a much better team than than the Pelicans, especially without Zion. But just the experience alone, it took them a little bit to be like, oh, okay, hold up. You know what I mean? Like it took them a quarter or two. There's just a different level of intensity. I always say hustle players usually struggle in the playoffs because everyone's hustling. You got to do something else than that. You got to have some game, ultimately. So, yeah, there's a difference.
Hansborough was great in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to let that be, watch your mouth.
Easy.
Okay.
McConnell, too.
Jeez, you basketball guys would just throw other basketball people under the
He's
bus.
Duke guy.
I never said names. You said that. First off, listen, Tyler Hansborough was great. He was a solid player. He was a solid player for the Patriots. Great. I mean, I'm not gonna throw around the word "great" here. That's crazy. I mean, that's Paul George is great. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference.
Hey, but in the effort bucket though.
Oh yeah,
elite.
Hansborough's Jordan.
In the hard foul bucket, he is in the Hall of Fame. That guy used to lay some hard fouls, man. My God.
I heard there's hard fouls getting called now, and then they're going to challenges and they're getting overturned because you guys got a worse officiating review system than us in the NFL somehow.
It's pretty rough, man. We got 3 guys staring in this damn camera in front of the whole world, and they get in front of this awkward mic. Yep. It was like a zoom-in camera, and they're just like, I don't know how the D'Angelo Russell foul got overturned last night. He got smacked across the face. You could see it here. There's contact right there both ways. Bam! Like right across it's right there. I don't understand how or who missed that. I don't get that. I don't understand. That was beyond me. It's this has happened game and game again.
Yeah, that's what LeBron sounded like. LeBron, and then he said, I saw what happened over in the Knicks game. LeBron was just kind of teeing off there. And it was, a lot of people are saying classic LeBron. Misses his 3 at the end. Now it's everybody else's fault. It's like, did you watch the rest of the game? LeBron he's balling. LeBron is playing great basketball right now, obviously.
Hooping.
Absolutely. He's so old. How's he doing it, Austin? He's also he's one of one in this. Yeah.
He's the freakish, the most freakish athlete I think ever in the history of sports. I think of all sports. The longevity points to it, how good he is. There's just no one else we've seen like this. I mean, even now players investing their money into their body because LeBron set that bar, right? The $1 million.
Well, Russell Wilson, please.
Wolverine blood.
That's fair. That's fair. Russell's great, but I would love to hear if Russell took any page out of LeBron's book in terms of like how he did.
No, LeBron's reading Russell's book. We know this Mr. Unlimited.
No, he only turns to page 1.
Yep.
We know
Austin.
Amen.
Austin.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I love LeBron.
He doesn't read those books, though. You know he doesn't read those books.
Yes, he did. He read this entire book as well.
He wrote that one maybe, but he didn't write it.
Oh, so he's writing books.
What book is that?
This is Rich Paul's Lucky Me book right here. Rich Paul. Rich Paul and Lucky Me. The minute I met Rich, I knew he was different, said LeBron James.
What a great little free advertisement for him. I mean, you are a good friend. That is unbelievable. You got a camera on that thing and everything.
And one day would be good to be friends, maybe, with Rich Paul. Seems like
so that was just out of the kindness of your heart.
Well, it's right here. We're talking books, and, it's like, this is his guy. So it's like.
It's the last one you read.
LeBron read this book. What, are you hating on this guy? You don't want anybody. Hey, Austin Rivers said, don't buy Rich Paul's book.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what I just.
Rich is my agent. Rich is like, you're going to give me fight. You don't do
It sounded like.
Jeez,
I love Rich. Please, no.
Just don't read his book, right?
Yeah.
The memoir of changing the odds. Austin Rivers said, "To hell with
Yeah, you get it.
No, Rich is honestly he's honestly a legend in his own right. His arc of his story is incredible. What he's done, man. It's
absolutely incredible hustler that is now running the NBA. Pretty much.
Austin doesn't want us to know about it.
Yeah, and Austin's like, we know enough about it.
Right.
Let's stop talking about that. Let's get back to LeBron fake reading books. That's what he said.
Please,
taking down the whole thing.
It's great.
Ty, last question for you, Austin. Good luck out there. Good luck.
Austin, what about the East as a whole? Pretty much everyone we've talked to have basically said, like, yeah, it's the Celtics and it's everyone else. If the Celtics don't make it to the finals or win the title this year, like, it is a massive choke. But then you also hear about the Sixers who, a lot of people don't see them as a 7 seed because Embiid missed so much time, and now they've kind of choked 2 games away against the Knicks. And then there's also, just like, can anyone actually compete with the Celtics in the East? We saw Dame obviously have that incredible first half against the Pacers, but is it kind of just Celtics
bigger hoop
everybody else?
Right now it is a Celtics everybody else. Just in terms of what I'm looking at right now, they're just far ahead of everyone else. With that being said, New York can challenge them. If they're able to get through Philly, they could challenge them just from the standpoint of how hard they play. That team plays so hard, and they got some physical guys that can play on both sides of the floor. And then with Brunson, obviously, he's going to get better as the playoffs go on, I would imagine. They could be challenging. I don't see them beating them. And the last thing to look out for is Milwaukee. They don't have Giannis right now. They looked really good last game. If Giannis is able to come back healthy, people are sleeping on Chris Middleton. He's playing his best basketball right now. These past month or two, he's starting to really get in a rhythm. If you get Middleton and Giannis and Dame and that thing's working, like they're supposed to be what they're supposed to be. Well, we had them all along, but they haven't been so far. Maybe they come together at the right moment. The NBA playoffs, it happens, So we'll see. But right now, Boston's still far ahead.
Your dad coaches there, right?
He's employed by the Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he sucked though. Remember? Isn't that what happened? He got the head coaching job there, and this guy
they
sucks.
said he's a terrible coach. The second all-time in wins African American coach in the NBA. He's terrible. He got them all by mistake. I don't know how. He's an awful coach. Yeah, that's what I heard. The same thing too, man.
Okay.
Me and you both.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you grew up in the world, so you understand there's going to be things said about your dad, especially if he's a head coach of a franchise or whatever. But it's like, as soon as he got the gig, they're like, we'll see how this goes. And like 1 week in, they're like, has Doc done anything?
Throwing 3.
It was a full burial of your dad there, middle of the season, or 3/4 of the way through the season there.
It was rough there for a little bit. He was getting a lot of negative attention. He still does. He gets killed on the internet. They love that 3-1 shit with him. It's just like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Everybody has their flaws. People love to poke at his for whatever reason. He's handled it well though. He's on social media. I told him he's got to get the hell off of there. He don't know what he's doing anyway. You should see him try to take a selfie. It's remarkable.
You know, the algae's taking advantage of your dad, too. It's doing it to all the olds. No offense to the olds. We like you guys, but the algorithm is really taking advantage of them. You know, they're going down.
It does.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And hopefully the algae will look out for your dad and keep all the Doc Rivers stuff out of there. You know, if you want to be a really smart AI, maybe protect a little bit.
Well, and show him at least what they're doing to Darvin Ham so he knows, like, hey, at least I'm not getting my photo put next to, like, Joseph Stalin and Hitler, and they're just making fun of me for the team losing.
That is what the internet was doing.
That's
real?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There, 4 photos in the box. Boom, boom. 3 dictators and then Ham.
Yeah. What? Yeah, not good. We're saying these. Yep.
I don't even have anything to comment. Go.
Yeah, exactly. It could be worse. Could be worse for Doc. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, after you said that, I feel kind of good about myself and my dad.
We appreciate you joining us, man. Hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with you soon. Thank you for answering the call so quick.
Oh, no doubt, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Rivers. As we wrap up here on ESPN, that was cool.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah, got our basketball guy. That's
good.
For now, hopefully.
And he
Who
played
knows
last
Jay Will, too. Jay Will came on yesterday.
You have a guy, though, that played last year. Like, he's played with all these guys for the last decade.
Yeah, and his dad's still in it.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about playing with Joker for a couple of years.
Yep.
He was on a bunch of teams, right? Austin?
Ton. Yeah, he played all over. He played in the Clippers. Yeah,
It's because he smacked the floor.
Yes. Yeah.
And in the second generation.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good on TV.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? I mean, he killed Rich Paul and LeBron and everybody. But
That was wild.
Well, yeah.
I thought it was great.
A little bit.
We'll be back tomorrow with, Draft Spectacular Eve Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one. We got some guests scheduled for tomorrow. Who do we have?
We got Lombo at the top.
And then also, I believe we locked in.
Oh, there was somebody else.
Maybe. Hold on. We'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice that might change your life. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. All right, we're out. That wasn't our best send-off. Wasn't as much pizzazz as, Hunter Wangenstadel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well.
Yep.
That's because you heard about the
Everybody's talking about
Wangerstadel.
Wangerstadel.
We were talking about Wangelstadel.
We were. How quickly do you think he realized, it was not Aaron Boone? But he knows I can't say, okay, no, you're cool. You can stay.
To this moment right now, he has no idea.
Yeah.
I heard it from the bench. Yeah, I see the video, but there was also somebody else.
Yeah,
that's also what he said. Like, he's the manager of the Yankees. He's got to answer for it. Sorry. I don't care if it was a guy in the dugout, somebody in the stands.
Control him.
He's the manager, and he's going to answer for it.
Got to manage these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
What'd the ump say?
He said, you're gone.
That's it.
I told you
So
you're
what'd the
gone.
fans say?
No, I mean, what'd the guy say in the blue?
I think he said, Hunter Wangerstadel, you're a fat piece of trash. All right,
Yep.
Hunter said.
All right.
Yep.
I hear you, Boone.
Yeah. That guy has to sound so much like Boone that they just got through having a conversation. Hunter Wangerstadel and Boone just got through chatting. Just right over his head, too, perfectly seated to come from similar angle. So the ears for Hunter Wangerstadel with a mask on couldn't pick up a different direction, same exact direction.
Yes, he's a hat move.
And that's why I think Hunter Wangerstadel still to this moment thinks it was somebody in the dugout. You show him this video 10 times, he'll say, AI, they're making all this shit up. They're trying to take away your strike zone.
Yeah.
AI. You're telling me that this, okay, sure. It's probably another fucking pitcher trying to make an umpire look bad. CC Sabathia in the Instagram comments, as soon as we posted the talk edited video of that whole story, he goes, man, I fucking hate umpires. I think that was his comment. I hate umpires. What was it, Gumpy? I forget exactly what it was.
I think he just said, I don't like umpires.
Yeah, I was like, pin that fucking thing for sure.
Yeah. Love that.
CC Sabathia. Okay, now I know how we all feel. We got the green light seemingly on umps to be like,
They are
trying to keep their jobs around. Is that what they're doing?
What's that?
They're trying to establish. Are they trying to establish themselves and say, hey, you need us in the game? Who's going to control the game or the flow and everything if I'm not here?
Tone said it. It's all about one word and has 2 syllables. Starts with pow, ends with and that's what it's caused a lot of people to act like assholes.
Yes.
For a long
I guess
time.
it has over time. Yeah.
Yeah, some people like money, some people like fame, some people just want power.
I want power. All right, you guys.
Want all
Well
the
said.
power.
Well said.
What?
Got to respect those
What's
people,
this
too.
from?
I require power.
I need more power. That is all spurned from one conversation I had with a person at one particular company.
Those are all quotes verbatim.
Yes. By the way, we're not just saying that stuff. We
In that voice too, though.
Yes.
Like the
No,
tone.
yeah.
I did not hear it in that particular voice, but as soon as it was said, it was quite a reaction. What a movie character this is.
Yeah.
Listen, I know your story. I know where you come from and what your goal is. You can have all that. I just want the power. Okay.
Excuse me,
I'm gonna sleep on this. I'm gonna sleep on
What does
this.
that mean?
I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, you got it. What a wild statement to
Yeah,
make.
that was wild.
And it was like, oh, these humans exist still. Like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right.
'Cause I've never been around.
It's like, all right,
movie
Kaboli, get the
character.
fuck out now. We get it.
All
We want the power.
It was
Out now.
Kaboli.
Good luck on your journey. Hope you go get it.
He
It
found it.
wasn't Kaboli. Just so everybody knows,
Yeah, it was
Kaboli's
not
not
Mark
seeking
Kaboli.
power.
It doesn't
No,
seem like
he's
him.
not.
Seeking power bombs.
He's got 22-inch pythons. He already possesses the power.
Ooh, that's a long shot.
Oh, get down.
Oh,
Get in there. Get in.
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
That would have been sweet.
No.
It's deep.
Oh, it's a long way.
Right in the ballpark.
I have a lot of people talk about seeing the video of me hitting each side there and going like, are you serious? I'm like, you don't see all the misses. So, yeah, there's a lot of them that happen.
Well, that was a perfect example of like how the switch from WNBA to NBA.
Yeah, you got to balance the power.
Yeah.
We were just talking
Yeah,
about
Exactly. You can't have all the power.
Sometimes it's hard to balance the pow. And
What?
Mark Kaboli had tweeted a photo from a hospital bed
That was a couple weeks ago.
About 10
1
days
week ago.
Was this Achilles?
Probably
surgery?
another one.
Can we call Kaboli CRK? Let's see.
This is how he,
check on it.
this is how he actually gathers more power.
I wonder what his dress
Plugs in.
inside
Goes to the
is.
hospital, plugs
It's
in.
like Inception type situation.
Exactly. They inject it.
I still don't understand that movie. So at what? It's when it's spinning, but then there's that one scene where it's not and it is.
If
You don't
it
know.
drops, then it's real life.
Inception?
Yeah, but then there's that one scene where
It
it's
starts
we
to
don't
wiggle
know.
and then the movie ends.
It ends. It's open to your
what's that mean?
interpretation.
Quite a cliffhanger.
you wrote the fucking movie, not me, okay? I don't need, I want you to figure it out. That's a big part of the whole thing. I'm gonna write the song, but you guys put the chorus together. Okay. Give me the fucking ending.
No,
Like,
did you see what he did? That
woke
movie
up-
came out 10 years ago, and we're still fucking talking about it.
Yeah, true.
Great film.
We're still talking about Titanic, though, and we know the end of that one.
dead.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, but we're
Pretty much.
talking about that one for
Well, except
different
for
reasons.
Rose.
You know?
She killed Jack.
You talking
Is
about
anyone going
steaming
down to see the
taxi?
Titanic
And-
again?
What's that, buddy?
Is anyone going down in those little subs anymore and seeing the Titanic? Or is that still allowed?
The tin shoebox to the bottom of the ocean always felt like an aggressive decision by the rich folks.
Yeah.
How do I
I'd say.
how do I risk my life complete? I mean, just smothereens.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds just did, actually. He just sent a crew down. He didn't go. He sent a crew down there
Smart.
to recover things for some gift to McElhaney. Yeah, for something like that, for some Wrexham thing.
But I assume this is a
Safer version.
yeah.
Yeah. This
Wait,
is, no one is going down there in tin cans anymore. But people are still going down.
They're allowed to. You tell me he's allowed to take stuff from the Titanic and gift it to his buddy?
It's open water,
Yeah,
brother.
maritime law.
Yeah.
I guess if you can get, it costs a lot of money to get down there. So if you can go get it, it's yours.
There was a time in my life where I was potentially boozed up on an island. Okay. Not the one you were thinking. AJ, this is a.
What was I wasn't thinking anything
you
like
were.
that.
Yeah,
I was
you
definitely
were.
not thinking
Yeah.
you were going to Little St. Jeff's.
Yeah,
It's not.
that's not where I was in a country. I forget the exact country. It was one of the Caribbean islands. I went to a lot of them. It was like a thing. I got caught up with this one crew on the beach just one day. I'm pretty boozed up and high.
Sure.
Which they're gonna go find gold out there.
Whoa.
I almost invested in a ship.
You should have.
While I was down there.
Dude.
You should have done it.
Hey, dude, I was so close.
Did they find it?
I'm going into like buildings. I'm getting pitched this idea by these people. All of a sudden, it's like 4:00 happy hour, like Senor Frogs, and then all of a sudden it's 7:00, and I'm in a business meeting with somebody about potentially finding treasure in the bottom of the ocean, and I'm asking all these questions. There's like a pitch deck happening behind them, and then I get out of there. I'm like, that's where I learned though. You can go fucking get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you can get there, you can get it. These people. I was this close to just putting it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
much you need?
How much is the price of gold right now? If we were to get down there, I mean,
You
we're
ever
like,
seen Fool's Gold?
Parker
Matthew
Schnabel.
McConaughey.
Who's Parker.
no, I haven't. Who's Parker?
It's a good movie. You should
Parker
watch.
Schnabel from what's the show called where they dig up the gold? No,
Fool's Gold.
no.
Gold Rush. Gold Rush.
Gold Rush. Yeah. It's been going on for 20 years.
Yeah, but that's digging in holes that we don't know if the.
There's one where they're out in the water too, where they go out in these little barges and they send a person in the submarine or in the scuba gear and they suck up stuff from the bottom.
Yes. So for me, yeah, it was similar to that. They know where the ships are wrecked. They just have to get to them. So this.
Oh,
isn't
they're going
like,
to get like treasure. They're not going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Good luck. Yeah,
They're talking about going to get some booty out there.
Pretty
I'm
easy.
like,
That's pretty easy. I'm sure you should have done it. You should have done it.
I was close. I was this close. If I wasn't as drunk I would have.
I'm stunned you didn't, to be completely honest.
I was this close. I mean, they were selling a good. I mean, it was. I was getting booty. I was opening the treasure chest at one point in my mind. I'm like, this is the greatest trip of all time. I'm gonna do it. I'm sunburnt. You know, I'm in depth. I'm wearing flip flops. I got like something, and I'm in a full sales pitch on how we need to go get this booty from the bottom of the ocean. We know where the ship is. We know how much money it has. Maybe it might be even more as we get in there. And I was so close. I just didn't fully understand how we were going to get there. And get back. And then I went back to the resort and just kind of did my thing. Joining us now is a man who hopefully can walk around right now. Last time we seen him, he was in a hospital bed. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Bowley.
Oh, come on!
Thank you for calling us from the car. Mark, good sunroof. You're living well. Obviously, life is good. Hope the mayonnaise is just as delightful as it was the last time we chatted. What were you in the hospital for? Seems like you're okay. Are you driving, passenger, leaving the hospital right now? What had happened?
Oh, you're talking about earlier last week.
Yes.
Oh, man. That was just a routine procedure. I guess, are we on the internet here or what?
Colonoscopy? Colonoscopy?
Yeah, there you go. Shove it up the rear end a little bit to check it out. So I was just trolling some people. You know, that picture I sent out there was at least 7 years old. So that one?
This guy's
2016.
This guy's a social media powerhouse.
You haven't aged a day, Mark.
Yeah, you look great. You look younger now than you did going into surgery, whichever one that was. Was that for both Achilles there, or what was that?
No, that was for my hand surgery back in maybe 15 or 16. Yeah, so if you looked at the prior day's tweet, you know, if you know anything about the good old colonoscopy, the prepping going on.
Oh, it's the worst.
I tweeted, I'm really having a crappy day. And I followed it up with that picture. So I figured people would be able to put one and one together and get two.
Of course.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, of course. Everybody's traveling to your profile to see what your last tweet was whenever you put one up there. If you don't thread it, people certainly understand. That is the internet in a nutshell. Nothing ever gets taken out of context nonetheless. Happy to hear you're okay. I also love the fact that this is turning into a go get checked.
Yes.
Go get checked. Go get checked. It's a real thing happening in our world right now with younger and younger. And I don't know about women, but I know men. Like, this is becoming something as younger. And so, way to be a leader and inspiring here, Mark. Appreciate you doing that, Mark.
Thank you, Bowley. No problem. No problem. Just, you know, you don't even feel it. You just, you know, what's that stuff called? The propofol or whatever that knocks you out in about 4 seconds? Wow, what a wonderful drug that is.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you. Have a great day, Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Bowley.
Yeah, Mark.
Still batting a thousand.
Wonderful drug it is, he said.
Let's get to a break. I didn't know you're getting knocked out for colonoscopies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think you have to. I think they're going in there deep.
Okay.
Taking a camera up.
I would like to go get checked, though, because of my eating habits over the years.
Yep.
And with everything that's happened, you know, I would like to get that done. That thing you do the day before where it just cleans you out.
Yeah, magnesium citrate. It is the worst.
AQ was doing that every single Thursday night of a football season because we had weigh-ins on Friday. So think about that. Think about that. That's a commitment.
A few of those, too. I had a couple of guys like that, too, yeah.
Let's get to a break. Hour 3 will be on the other side. I believe we got Elliotte Friedman.
Nice.
Freach!
Hockey insider from Canada. This guy, he's the Adam Schefter of hockey in Canada.
So
is how I was...
Bigger than Schefter.
Just dropped some big news out of Vancouver. Their starting goalie could be cooked for the rest of the first round.
Oh, no!
Dodger?
Yikes!
All right, we'll talk to him about that and everything else happening around the hockey world. Then we'll wrap up this wonderful Tuesday of Draft Spectacular Week. He's AJ Hawk. These are the boys. Our show will continue in about 5 minutes. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5!
Please welcome from West
McAfee.
Virginia University, 2014 Colts Man of the Year and two-time Pro Bowler.
Do we have a 7-second delay?
McAfee.
He's Man of America, not Man of the Year. He's Man of
Hello,
America.
Nashville. I'm not going to say a single word about the Tennessee Titans record against the Indianapolis Colts because I was a punter, and there's no reason for me to talk about that. With that being said, we did not punt much against the Tennessee Titans, so you probably have no clue who I am to begin. 2 years ago, when I retired from the Colts, I retired alongside two greats, Robert Mathis and Joe Wrights. A couple months later, I watched the draft. Robert Mathis announced the pick, Joe Wrights announced the pick, and then an orangutan announced the 4th-round draft pick. I was replaced by a zoo animal. I was not upset about it because the orangutan was terrible at his job. With that being said, the Indianapolis Colts are the hottest team, not only in the AFC South, but the entire NFL. A young nucleus surrounding the Stanford nerd, Andrew Luck. 2 All-Pros were drafted last year, 10 this year. And with the 89th pick of the 2019 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard select future Hall of Famer, linebacker from Stanford, Bobby Okereke. Okereke.
Pat McAfee, everybody.
Nicely done, Pat.
I mean, that's 10 out of 10 right there. Fake Dungy loves it.
Yeah, dude, what am I supposed to do here? Fuck, dude. Like, what are we supposed to do? People should not tell me this stuff. They know they should. Can't do it. Our sources have told us that Mac Jones ain't going 3.
What? Oh my God.
I mean, it seems like Trey Lance is going at 3. Draft odds changed dramatically. Odds have just changed, by the way.
Before you went on air, Mac Jones was minus 270, I believe, and Trey Lance was plus 280. Now Trey Lance is plus 105.
Hello and welcome to the 2nd annual NFL Draft Spectacular. Yeah! Trey Lance, let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, I beat you, dude. You owe $20,000. Thanks for playing, A. Leo Jones is a Colt by the end of tonight. You can't control him, can you? Dan's lying. Dan, stop being a hater, Dan.
I mean, obviously, it's great competition. You know, not just Pat, though. You know, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, you know, Clyde, you know, all these guys.
There's always things that are taken out of context, but there's always things that maybe aren't. You never know.
JJ, you're the best. Hey, Mad Mel, dude.
Great to be back, AJ. Great to see you. Good to see you're still a sack of shit like you were last year.
Listen,
Chris. Hey, I've never worn a jockstrap, but I've sniffed plenty of them, so I know what's going on with these players. Okay? I don't give a fuck. Who cares? I just want to eat. Zito, did we get that food order?
With boots on the ground in Cleveland, Jason Glazer. Jason Glazer, your thoughts? Well, obviously, I knew this was going to happen. The only person who probably didn't know the Cowboys was going to go here.
No, you have it in the studio.
That's when live you go.
Now, wait a minute.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And then let me talk. And no,
you didn't.
Yeah,
no, you didn't.
Yeah. What if this works?
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
No, you
did.
didn't.
Yes, I did. I had this. No, you didn't. I had this. I had it. Trust me. Can I talk, for Christ's sake?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Thank you. What? As we're live on the air, I look down at my phone and says, hey, a $1 deal with SeatGeek just happened. SeatGeek is back. We have some breaking news that literally just got texted to my phone. And I think it's because nobody had a clue that 131,000 fucking people are potentially going to be watching this far into the thing.
SeatGeek's back!
Yeah. And if you use hashtag Draft Spectacular and hashtag SeatGeek is back, they will pick a winner and will get you 2 season tickets to your favorite NFL team.
Holy shit!
I cannot believe the Draft Spectacular was as big as it was. There's 100,000. What are you doing, people? Let's go! Yeah! 100,000 people! We are so thankful. It fucking caused a firestorm with the amount of people that watched them. Articles written by these marketing nerds and their little community tech people saying, hey, this is the dawn of a new day. This is why SeatGeek survives. You watch the thing, you're like, man, this is pretty big. Probably get in on this. We appreciate that, dude.
Oh, you're going to get articles written about you tomorrow.
What's up?
How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. You doing all right?
Yeah, great. How's this class?
Running back?
Just in general.
Yeah. Oh, the overall class. Good. There's some depth. Yeah, there's some depth.
You guys looking for weapons on this?
Yeah.
But do you have a feeling like you could find a guy that could really change your out here? Or no? Is it just like the beginning of the process?
I think we have a good idea, but this, sometimes you don't see guys in their system run more than 3 routes. So you you like to see what they can do. You know what I mean? They make them run a lot more routes. If you have good tape and you come out here and it's not firing, nobody's going to kill them. I don't think...
Media, maybe? Keep it clear. You're on the media?
Yeah. So if we're listening to you, shame on
Amen. Amen.
Hello, Mountaineerland. I'm Pat McAfee, your kicker and punter.
Pat McAfee made a superb open field tackle near midfield. Pick up the Bulldogs' drive on a 2nd and 6.
Nice cut. And we have the wheels. The kicker did it again. The 2nd week in a row, Pat McAfee saves further damage. And look at that, Pat McAfee getting major props on the sideline.
Iglesias turns the corner across midfield. McAfee in his way. And Iglesias is wrapped up by the kicker at the 33.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show sticks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Draft Spectacular Week Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Sports! You were close that time. That's AJ Hawk, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, baby AJ.
Hey, baby Hogger.
The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con man, the flag on your chest is not the same one that the man who is about to join us will wave as his home country, but your shirt is damn fantastic.
Thank you, and I know that guy knows that his flag stinks compared to this one.
Whoa.
I don't know if he knows that or thinks that. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys turn. Diggs is here joining us live. Ladies and gentlemen, I was introduced to him as the Adam Schefter of hockey for Canada. He's on Sportsnet. He's on NHL Network. He knows everything happening around the NHL. Ladies and gentlemen, Elliotte Friedman. Hell yeah.
Hey, Pat, by the way, last time I was on, my friends told me I did not pay proper respect to you. Oh. They said, if you're going to go on the Pat McAfee show, there is a certain attire that you have to have. No. So my friends made me a Pat McAfee suit jacket. Okay. I'm just going to put it on.
All right. Okay. I like that. Good gimmick. I like we're doing gimmicks. I like that.
Look, their arms are cut off right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
there you go.
Could you imagine?
Said if you're going to.
Go ahead. If you were shirtless with that thing on, I mean, we'd really, that would have been. No.
I don't look like you. I certainly don't look like AJ. And I bet I don't look as good as anyone else in that studio.
Well, definitely better than us.
Yeah, you look great, Elliot. You're in the middle of it. Tell your boys and the lads I said thank you for the love. And I hope you wear that sport coat on something other than this program because it might be fashion forward more than you could ever imagine. Yep. Now, let's talk about the hockey playoffs here. Obviously, we're having electrifying nights and incredible evenings. Injuries always play a big factor. You literally just broke news, I believe, 10 minutes ago about Vancouver goalie situation that's taking place. Is that the big news right now as we're a few games into all these series? And what else do we keep an eye out for, Elliot?
That's a big one. Thatcher Demko, and it'll work well with the shirt. U.S.-born goalie, could have been potentially starter on an Olympic team in a couple of years. Really, really elite goaltender. He is injured, and as you know, guys, it's the playoffs. They're very careful. Nobody wants to say anything. We know he's not going to play tonight. I've been told he's questionable for the rest of the series, games 2-7 against Nashville, but that's a huge deal. Demko is one of the best goaltenders in the league. He was out for close to the end of the regular season, but the Canucks timed it. They were careful with him. They brought him back a little bit later than he wanted to play, because they wanted to make sure he would be okay. And he got hurt sometime in game 1. He made a huge split save. I kind of wondered if that was it. People are just being very careful. I'm told it's a new injury. It's not related to a previous one, but I don't know exactly what it is. And obviously they're very concerned.
2024 hockey still has the capability of saying it's a lower body.
That's right.
No other sport really allows that. Hockey is like, The day after teams get eliminated, you learn this guy's been playing with a broken what? Spine. Oh, okay. how many? That is kind of how it goes. You don't learn until later. It's one of the beautiful things of sport. Right now, what's happening in the sport, though, is real mysterious, especially in Toronto. Connor's got a question.
Yeah, Freeze, what's going on with Billy Nylander? Is he kind of having off the ice issues? Is this an actual injury, or what's all this about?
Well, it's first of all, I think the Leafs could have handled it a lot better. That's the number one thing. I think that, as you guys said, by the way, in hockey, we used to have the diagonal rule, which is that if they said you had a lower leg injury, it was really your upper shoulder. Like that was your upper right shoulder if it was your lower left leg. I don't know if they do that as much anymore, but we used to call it the diagonal rule. With Nylander, I don't believe it's discipline. I just don't. I know those rumors are out there. I think they've been kind of created because nature abhors a vacuum. I don't think it's a disciplinary issue. I just think that he got hurt late in the regular season. The Maple Leafs were resting all their injured guys. They had a bunch of guys who didn't play late in the year. I don't believe for a second if they knew there was anything wrong with him, they would have allowed him to chase 100 points. I think he got hurt in one of the last 2 games of the season, but didn't really notice an issue until the day after, last Thursday. And now, he's day to day. We'll see. But I don't believe it's a disciplinary issue. I've looked into that, and people have furiously denied that.
Okay, that's massive coming from you, and actually massive, because the conspiracies and what you say in the nature of horror, it's a vacuum. Is that
nature abhors a vacuum? Abhors a vacuum.
Jeez Louise.
Whoa.
What a bar right there.
That's just classic University of Western Ontario education.
UWO. UWO.
Yes.
UWO. That's what it's about.
That's fantastic.
Because a lot of people are wondering, they're assuming that something happened because there's people watching the 82nd game and saying there doesn't seem to be anything here. Now, that's just people watching the game, and obviously the NHL has the capability of hiding stuff better than other leagues, but that's a big convo, especially if Toronto was to lose to Boston here. Now, granted, they're able to get a win without him. We'll see how it goes. That's a little controversy brewing up there in Toronto, obviously, a team that is highly scrutinized and always will be. AJ has a question for you, Freach.
Oh, I'm curious how do you gather all this information as an insider with hockey? We know we talk to Schefter and Rappaport and insiders with the NFL, and they have contacts everywhere, agents, everything. I feel like the NHL is really buttoned up, and they're really secretive, even more so than the NFL. How are you able to get yourself in there and actually get good information?
How long, too?
You know what? For me, it's been in this position as a kind of insider. It's been about 15 years. I haven't been around as long as a lot of those other guys. But AJ, I think you're right in a lot of ways. I think the NHL is a bit more buttoned down than the other leagues. I'm jealous. I do okay. I break some stories, but when I see some of the guys like Woj and Schefter, I'm jealous. I'm not as prolific as those guys, and I think first of all they do an incredible amount of work. That's number one. I think those guys work more than I do. But I think I do agree with you, AJ. I think the NHL is more buttoned down. I think there's an understanding that the NBA and the NFL, they're sports, but they're also entertainment. You want the news out there to the masses. You want people debating your sports. You stir the pot. You love people discussing controversy. I think in hockey it's a bit different. I don't think they like some of that attention as much. I don't think the athletes are as comfortable with the attention as much, and I think people are a bit more careful. But honestly, AJ, as you know, it's time, and I've been around now, for 30 years. I think people know my face. They decide if they can trust me or not. But AJ, I think the biggest thing is if I ever criticize someone, I try to show up the next chance I can. I really learned that early, AJ, Pat. You guys were players. If someone says something tough about you, you better show your face so that if they got a problem, they can say something.
Well, especially in hockey, because they'll put the mitts on you, and the news is breaking on your phone while you're chatting with us. And I don't know if you're missing maybe your Woj bomb or your Schefter bomb for coming on our show, but we certainly appreciate it. Now, I know that there's been a lot of guarded, and I think we're starting to learn more about the personalities. I genuinely believe, Spit and Chicklets is a massive piece of the entire...
They're stars.
Yeah, but also they're bringing out of the others guys too, and the stories that we had never heard in the past. I think it's helping grow the game immensely. We're learning more about people. I think in you breaking news about it is only growing the game. So we appreciate the hell out of all of it. Now, what we're hearing though is Las Vegas Golden Knights are cheating. Ty has a question for you, Freege.
Yeah, Freege, a lot of the fucking crybabies out there want to know if the NHL is going to do anything, about this situation where basically, hey, they're just putting guys on LTIR and then they're going out and adding pieces at the trade deadline. Even though, it's within the rules, the Lightning did it for a long time.
Yep.
They won a couple cups doing it. When are people going to fucking wake up and realize that hey, Golden Knights just want to win? Okay, Bill Foley just wants to win. He's going to do everything he can to win. Is the NHL ever going to do anything about this, or is this just part of the game?
First of all, Ty, I can't tell by your question in your hat which side of the issue you are on.
That was a heavy dose of sarcasm. So,
non-biased. No, we're journalists. We're journalists down here in America. American sports media.
Yep.
Non-biased.
I think, Ty, first of all, I would say this, that, look, you're right. Chicago did it. They won a Stanley Cup because they did it. Tampa Bay won a Stanley Cup because they did it. Vegas won a Stanley Cup last year as part of it. Vegas has also missed the playoffs because it piled up too badly on them a couple years ago. So we've seen both sides. I think this, Ty, the next CBA, collective bargaining agreement, is up in 2 years. This is something that would have to be sorted out between the league, the teams, and the players. We're going to find out in 2 years if everybody really wants to stop this. And then we'll get our answer. But, Ty, I think the thing is this. Other people have done it. The Golden Knights, they have perfected it. And I think that's what has gotten other people upset.
Almost as perfect as that actual Golden Knight in his pregame duels.
Yeah.
Can't believe he lost one.
I mean, yeah. Couldn't sleep last night.
You?
Yeah.
What a piece
I thought
of
you
trash.
said fuck that guy yesterday.
Well, I did, but I feel like I've been lied to now.
What? What do you mean?
The franchise I love, I feel like I've been lied to.
No, they treated you to the best night of hockey in the history of hospitality.
I agree, but I was just thinking, hey, maybe it's time to take that current Golden Knight out back, behead him, take his armor, and bestow it on a new Golden Knight.
Oh, no, we need a younger... We need a younger Golden Knight?
Maybe a hungrier Golden Knight, not one who's gotten fat because he's won so many battles.
Kaboli, perhaps.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
Tough crowd.
Freach, you have no idea. This Golden Knight, and maybe Kaboli will be the next Golden Knight. We're not sure, but this Golden Knight was nothing but nice to us.
Not to me.
And to Ty. And to Ty. He was nice to him, and Ty just doesn't like him because Ty embarrassed himself.
No, I didn't.
With the sword in the shield.
Maybe. No, he tried to knock me off the suite.
Ledge.
Whoa.
He did.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He did. I'll never forget that.
I didn't see, because you're dead. You do that with that sword. What if you...
Impale someone else,
Impaling
too?
myself, exactly. And I would fall on the sword for the Golden Knights. I don't know if the current Golden Knight would.
Wow.
Oh, that is
Holy shit.
Put on the
Way to tie that together.
If they go to the Stanley Cup final this year, this has got to happen.
Yes.
Got to
A
happen.
brand new Golden Knight? You're saying they got to...
They could have a duel set
Absolutely,
right.
yeah. That's right.
Ty, let's get you on the ice with that Golden Knight before one of these games.
Sounds good.
Let's
Sounds
get you in
good.
your full pack.
Let's go. Nice.
I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna bring a knife or a sword to a gunfight though.
Let's go.
Well, a guillotine fight for sure. I mean, it was one of... Hey, thank you to the Golden Knights for literally one of the greatest sporting nights of all time.
By far.
Awesome.
We don't like to make jokes at this because obviously it's an incredible organization, but Ty Schmidt was actually treated as a Make-A-Wish kid.
Without a doubt.
Truly.
For one entire night.
100%.
They gave him the full thing. Like, how do we normally do a Make-A-Wish trip? Let's do it for this adult with a kid.
Times 5.
Yeah.
And he'll be hammered drunk through the entire... It was awesome. It was phenomenal. Hockey's the best.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Freed.
Players looked like they liked it as much as he did.
Well, I mean, you should have heard the conversation.
Yeah, a couple good jokes in there.
Yeah,
Boys in the change room.
Yeah. There's two different rooms. There's a locker room, then there's a change room. That was a interesting dynamic there for hockey as we continue. Ellie, you're not the only Canadian that has a microphone. Gumpy has a question for you.
Yeah, Freeds, with Demko out, is it going to be our sweet, sweet Slovis in between the pipes, or are they going with Penguins legend Casey DeSmith?
Oh.
Penguins legend Casey DeSmith was in the starter's net this morning, so unless I hear otherwise, I'm expecting him to go.
Domingue?
No, not Louis Domingue. No,
Casey.
DeSmith.
Yeah, where's he at?
DeSmith.
Louis.
Louis Domingue just scored a goal 2 weeks ago.
That's right, American Hockey League.
He's in the AHL now? Jeez.
Yeah.
Get that
High
guy
save
up.
percentage in the AHL.
Yeah, get him up.
He scored.
Okay. Well, he's playing goalie.
Connor's got a question for you, Freege.
Yeah, Freege, speaking of goalies, as a Bruins fan, should I just expect Swayman, Ullmark every other game going forward, or is there a chance that they wanted to see Swayman game 1, Ullmark game 2, and let's just figure out who we're going to go with for the foreseeable future?
Well, Jim Montgomery won't even tell his wife, so he's not going to tell us. But what I think is going to happen here is you'll see Swayman in Game 3, I think, and then at some point in time, I think you're going to see them have to pick one if they don't continue winning. Like last year, they did the reverse. They went Ullmark the first 6 games and went to Swayman late. They didn't like the way that went. So I think this time they're going to alternate, and then if they get in trouble, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to one guy.
All right. Hey, I'm just now learning, and this is on me. I do apologize about not only geography of Canada. I heard you guys got provinces up there. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Proud of all of them. Way to go. I don't understand how 1776 happened, and you guys weren't with us because there's no real line in the sand, but I do respect and appreciate everything about it. I just learned where Winnipeg is. I had no idea. That thing could have been.
I saw.
Oh, okay. We all that. Okay. I saw the American education system getting questioned a lot, and whatever the case. Do not let me be the one that represents that in this entire thing. But their barn the other night stole the show for me. Yeah. I mean, it stole the entire night. Like, it was must watch just in of itself. If you don't have a sport as great as hockey being played in the middle of this crowd, I'd still watch because of how awesome the barn was. Are they notoriously great home ice advantage? Yes, always have been. That's kind of how the Winnipeg folks roll.
That's how they're known. And Pat, I remember when they first came back into the NHL in 2011, when Atlanta moved up there, I went to go see an exhibition game there. I think they were playing Nashville. And the Predators walked out after that game and said exhibition games in Winnipeg should count for real points. There's no atmosphere like this anywhere else, and especially in the exhibition season. Now, they do something there called the whiteout. They'd actually been in a long losing streak. I think they lost 8 games in a row doing the whiteout, and people were beginning to question, should we get rid of this tradition? But luckily they won the other night, so people have stopped talking about that. It's a fantastic tradition, and they are great fans. And I saw they invited you guys up there.
Yeah, it's fun.
If you guys went up there, they would treat you like gods. You would love them.
Oh, we don't need that. We don't need any of that. I do appreciate the kindness, Canada nice or whatever the hell it's called. I do. We would just want to experience it. It's far though.
It is way out there.
Way out there. That's a big commitment to go out to Winnipeg. Now, I did see we'll see it tonight. Tonight will be one of those things where I'm watching. I'm like, hopefully,
same thing.
It'll be the same thing you're saying.
Yep. Same thing. Won't be any different.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, it'll be even crazier because they're up 1-0.
Is that the city of Winnipeg calling you right now? The entire thing? Hey, last question here, because we need your take on this. As a Canadian hockey reporter for 30 years, you obviously can have the pulse on some stuff, and there's brand new happening in the NHL.
Yeah, Freege, what's your overall opinion on Utah getting the new team? We had Ryan Smith on earlier this week, and he basically said, hey, it's not exactly relocation, and it's not expansion. And then Steve Levy, we were talking and basically said, like, hey, the Coyotes sucked, but he said, hey, for a part of this year, they were actually pretty good, so they do have a chance. Is there any way that they can be a competitive team early when they relocate to Utah, or do they have a ways to go before they can turn this thing around?
I think, Ty, I think expecting them to compete immediately is going to be a challenge because, first of all, they're staying in the Central Division. And look at the 3 teams at that top of that division. That's Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, and Nashville in the playoffs. Those are 3 of the best teams in the NHL, and a Nashville team that did a lot better this year than a lot of people expected. So it's a challenge. But the one thing is they are definitely up and coming. They've got good young players. They've got a lot of cap room. He is determined to be aggressive. I'll say the other thing, too. I know the players are actually going into Utah tomorrow. They're flying them up from Arizona to go see it. I think there were some players who were really unsure about this. He met with them last week. The day it was announced, he made sure to go introduce himself to every person individually. He took a bunch of them golfing. He told them that, look, you didn't like your hotel rooms. You'll stay where the Jazz always stay. You didn't like the wives' room. We're going to make sure the wives have a good room. And what we build, we're going to build together. For the most part, I think he blew those guys away. They were very impressed, made an excellent first impression. It's going to take time, but they've got cap room and flexibility, and he is determined to make them a good team as quick as possible. I believe they will be a force.
I love to hear that from the hockey side of it, talking about Ryan, because we know Ryan pretty well. We know him pretty well. And he's been nothing short of just like, he's gobsmacked me with the amount of energy he has and the ideas that he has and the people. He has good people that execute and everything. Like he's an American success story. Like he's going to be one of those ones that's remembered forever. 45 years old. High school dropout, has an NBA team and an NHL team, multi-billionaire, and like still driven to be like, no, we got in all in. You talk about meeting everybody. I assume he thinks that's just normal. Like, what are we even talking about? I have to do this. He said they're getting 80 people. They're getting a couple skate sharpeners, and then that's it, pretty much is what it is. So everybody there, I think, that had a job still has one. With Ryan, it's like seemingly the starting point here is all going good, which is beautiful. I hope they get good, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll sell that barn out.
Oh, yeah.
They'll sell that place out. It'll be great for the entire sport of hockey, and he'll invest and try to win as much as possible that he can in hockey.
Yeah, the good news is, too, the Utah Jazz stink, and they've had like 250 straight sellouts. So even if they're not that great, they still might show up.
Bingo. And they got Danny Ainge, and they think they're on the side. To that point, though, one quick follow-up here from Nikki Skates.
Friedge, mentioning Utah, what's more likely in your mind? We saw the release with Arizona's owner saying that they can get their team back, the Coyotes, reinstated if they get an arena deal done as one of the parameters. Does Arizona come back, or do you see expansion more likely with a Houston or an Atlanta, the NHL going back there possibly?
I really do believe that Gary Bettman has fought for Arizona more than he's fought for any other team. He is determined to prove that market is right, and he will go back there once they get their arena situation sorted out. Now, Alex Morello has until December 31st, 2027 to prove to the NHL that he is in good shape with a building, 50% completed. And if that's the case, he keeps his right to bring back the team. If not, then the NHL can relinquish those rights and search elsewhere for an arena. I do believe Arizona will have another NHL team. They will be back. And I also do think there will be expansion. So the question will be, do we expand by one team or two teams, depending on what happens with the Coyotes?
Indianapolis needs a team. Just as we're starting to talk about it, let's go. Indianapolis needs a team ASAP. That thing will sell out. That's just like another thought of like something to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is something to do, so we're going to go do it. And it's a supportive sports city, loves hockey, has it deep. But if expansion happens, I'll be excited to see what city they pick. When you talk about Arizona getting the team back, same owner, because doesn't this guy stink? I mean, I'm sure he's a good human, but as an owner, doesn't this guy stink? We're talking about like hotel bills being left unpaid, logistics stuff not getting figured out. That feels like Bush League. You think still back in Phoenix, same owner? Because I think with the friends we have in Phoenix, there's a lot of OG hockey legends that live in that area, and their kids all train there and everything. So I think that's why Gary's so bullish on Phoenix, because there's a lot of hockey legends that are living out there. Is it same ownership, or is that gonna? What do you think?
I have to say, Pat, that the people who know Phoenix better than I do are skeptical that he can pull it off. They don't believe it. He is determined to prove all those people wrong. And I don't know the Arizona political scene well enough to really say, except that everybody who knows it better than me doesn't think he can do it. And so, like I said, he has until the end of 2027 to prove us all wrong.
Ishbia's down there, with the Phoenix Suns and the Mercury. He's a Michigan guy, obviously grew up around hockey, we would assume. I'm cool with paying $150 million luxury tax. Like the NHL, if they were to have the expansion draft somehow, go back to Arizona, he would spend, get that team back for Phoenix, and maybe Gary proves that it's right. But we shall see. Elliotte, we can't thank you enough for joining us live. Are you in Canada right now?
Toronto, yep.
Oh, Toronto. Hey, stole one in Boston, eh? Didn't you? Stole one up there.
That was not a steal. They earned that win. That was the best game of Arizona-born Austin Matthews' career.
It's going to need another one, too.
You talking about Pablo? Yeah, Pablo's about to get hot.
He's going to need another one in Game 3.
Yeah, up in the sixth. He's becoming the sixth guy right in front of our eyes.
He is.
Him and Beebs.
He is Beebs. He's boys with Beebs, right? Ooh.
His favorite, one of his favorite football players growing up was DeAndre Hopkins. He looked like DeAndre Hopkins on that one.
Yeah, he did. He was good. I mean, the juke.
Yeah.
Full speed. hand pass to self perfectly. Oh my God.
Filthy.
It is.
He won the game last night. He truly did.
Yeah.
It was remarkable to watch, even as a Bruins fan.
Oh, Nick just told me they're calling him Boston Matthews.
Yeah, he dropped that joke earlier. I'm glad it made it onto the air, but through your mouth instead of his.
Told me that a couple times. All right. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, Friedge. Take care and enjoy this ride of the playoffs, pal.
Will do, guys. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Sport coat, you hate that you did that to a sport coat that you could have worn any other time, right?
No, I love that my buddies did that for me. They were like, you have to wear this thing.
Lad of the lads.
You have to wear this thing.
Elliotte Friedman, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, guys.
How about the lads saying, let's rip sleeves off?
They know.
Yeah.
They get it.
They lads know.
I do appreciate that. Good vibe our show gives off.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going on the show, gotta look like an asshole.
Yeah, what are we talking about, Friedge?
Shirtless would have been better.
A lot of Canadians on today, eh?
Big Canadians.
Too many, some would say.
I would agree.
NHL playoff time, brothers.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of our sport now? Who won the Stanley Cup? Who is the Stanley
Team
Cup?
in Las Vegas, which kind of epitomizes what America is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go to Las Vegas, you know America.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, you do.
You ever think
It's
about
like
that?
every corner of America. You go to Las Vegas, you get an accurate representation.
Of exactly what the United States of America always is every single day. I agree. Do you ever think about that? In obviously, it's other countries. I got a chance to play soccer in some other countries growing up. And if it was like bad weather in that one particular city in that country that I went to, I came back home. My thoughts have always been like, oh, what a dreary place. What?
Yeah.
Austria, just the whole place.
Fucking rains the entire time.
Because that was my experience.
Yeah.
Imagine people coming to America, going to New York City, being like, "Oh, New York's so busy. Everybody's asshole.
This place
so
sucks.
fast. There's rats everywhere." It's like that is nothing like what 20 miles north is like in the entire country. Perception is a wild thing.
Montreal last week. It was cold and rainy, and now in my
Dreary.
brain, I actually said when we got off the plane, there's something eerie about this place. And I'll always think that now.
Just
forever.
because of the weather.
Yes, just because of that one trip.
Yeah.
That's on us. We don't like that that's reality.
No, I mean, the Six Flags is empty. We're driving by it.
They had that one light on.
Yeah,
it kind of looked like a haunted movie.
It was just an eerie place.
But that roller coaster did look awesome if it was alive.
For sure.
Was it not? It wasn't running or what?
Well, in Canada, these things can be open for what, 6 weeks, 5 weeks?
At most.
Probably.
Guy said twice a summer.
Turn that thing into a. We love Canada. Shout out, Canada. We're learning a lot about Canada. Everybody's learning a lot about Canada.
Yeah.
Not about the people, though. Let's remember that.
Yeah. Well, if
good people.
Trudeau's still their leader. So until that son of a bitch
Oh,
is
we're gonna
out.
start judging. We're gonna start judging entire people by their leaders.
I mean, I would if I was from a different country looking at the United
potentially,
States.
yeah. Well, we need to watch that. If one of these goes in, we're giving away something.
Okay.
What are we giving away?
Ah,
AJ, you have any thoughts?
Get some.
Trying to think. I don't know.
Got some
Racking my brain here.
Pretty cool new Texans hats.
Okay, we need one of those. Remember?
Yeah. New uniforms everywhere.
A lot of new uniforms.
Lot of
Hey,
new
I like that. There's some terrible
too.
Broncos ones. Are
What are we doing?
crap. Absolutely. I think legitimately Antonio Brown is breaking a lot of these the uniforms, the brand new ones through CTE ESPN.
Yeah.
It is actually happening. But like a lot of uniforms get dropped right now. It's draft week. Let draft come.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this now?
Maybe that's why. Because
So
when
the
they
new
get their
jersey with the draft pick.
Yeah, they have the new ones, and they don't want the draft announcement. As I'm saying this, that would be cooler if your new first-round draft pick debuted your new jersey.
Got it. Okay. I mean, maybe that's the case, but we should have stole another week when there was nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Because now it's just all getting funneled into one thing. And then we'll see some photos and we'll be like, those are ass. Those are awesome. Oh, they're the team with shitty uniforms. And then we're going to see it on Thursday night or whatever. It's like, I appreciate teams forward thinking. I just didn't understand the timing. It's going to get mixed up into kind of everything else news.
Especially next week. I don't know if you guys remember in these years past after this draft weekend what happens.
Tough.
Yeah, there's some.
No, we still got NBA
NBA
NFL
and
playoffs.
NHL.
No, exactly.
Got playoffs.
We need this first round of both of them to get past 6 games, though.
Yes.
We need multiple games.
Can't have the 4 or 5 days where there's nothing on TV.
Yeah, because if there's 5-game series, 4-game series, like even 6-game series, there is a big.
Yeah.
It's bad for everybody. Bad for everybody involved.
And from our very selfish standpoint, it is terrible for this particular program and anybody that spends their days with us, which I'm seeing new numbers.
Yeah.
Wow, what are you guys doing? You should be doing other stuff than hanging out with us every day, but we're thankful for it. And there's some shows where I assume you go, yeah, that's why I watch that shit for this one. I'm pumped for Thursday night.
It's going to be
So
awesome.
pumped.
Legitimately. From what everybody's saying about what Thursday night could be with the team. Now, granted, we're only as good as the shit. We're literally talking about it right now. Our show is only as interesting as shit that is happening in sport. Because if not, we're just, all right, now we're grasping. Now we're doing this.
Yep.
If that draft is electrifying, it's like,
it's going to be.
We are going to be on.
Fireworks are happening with this many quarterbacks involved in the first round. Yeah, I think a lot is going to happen.
And no offense to the defensive side of the ball. I know the world is against you. The rules are against you. A lot of offensive players getting drafted. Like, that's even more so because now we start talking about the quarterback. Now we start talking about the offense and what they did. It's like, it feels like going into Thursday night, all engines are kind of humming on a big Thursday.
I think that is also the advantage we have, though, is like if everything kind of just goes chalk, like the traditional broadcasts aren't going to just like go off the rails. Like we can just.
We should.
What are you talking about? We don't go. I mean,
we can explore the space, if you will, much
AJ
more.
Hawk
much
we
more.
can walk
so
on
than-
stage. We can go up on stage.
So we do actually have a long enough cable for one of the cameras from our set. We could get it all the way to the side stage, I think.
Jeez. That's a long way.
Yeah, guaranteed to get trampled on and pulled out and
Ripped
everything.
out.
Just this is what's possible if you really want.
If we want to explore the space, though.
If we wanted to explore the space.
Good to know.
All right, how about this? If I make this, nope, can't because you got to get credentialed. I was about to say one person can come hang out on the set for Draft Spectacular, but that's Area 51.
Yeah, that'll never work.
The amount of credentials to get into they're locking it down hard.
Rightfully so. I understand. I get it.
A lot of money in that place. Detroit. How's Detroit going to be? What is it going to be? Cold as shit up there? What is it going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be freezing cold and gritty, just like Detroit always is.
I think Friday's nice, though.
Yeah, but Saturday the showings, between 11 and 12, it'll be about 40 degrees.
Which day?
On Thursday.
Okay.
I said Saturday, didn't I?
Yeah, but it's going to feel like Saturday whenever we're around pick 29.
Amen.
Yeah, Thursday's low is 40, so it'll be 40 when it's dark, and then Friday's beautiful.
Coat.
Friday's gonna be great.
Yeah, it is great. All right, good. I don't see any lightning bolts, which is good. Lightning bolts takes us out completely.
Yep, can't have that
because we're in a metal 3-story tin house.
Yeah.
What about the rest of this? Aren't there other sets that are outside like that as well?
Yeah, I think everybody potentially in some shit if there's lightning. I think. I don't know if they figured out the science and we didn't, but I think because NFL Network's live, right?
Yep.
ABC's live, ESPN's live, and then also we're live. This is an honor. It's huge. The NFL has had to keep up on all the developments. So whenever we're normally just wheeling and dealing, we'll do that. Yup, we're adding that. Yup, we're doing that. Information gets back to like the league offices and they're like, excuse me, is this happening? Well, kind of, yeah. Would you like to elaborate? It's like, well, it's not that big. It's just
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're just doing the draft. Like, well, that's not how this
Let you know on Thursday.
Yeah.
We're doing the draft.
We don't know. We're doing the draft. We don't know exactly. Think about how pissed they got to be. The amount of people that are pissed that we're even getting the footprint that we're having. We are stage right here, like right behind us. Everything taking place. A bunch of Detroitians, Lions fans down here, I assume.
Yeah.
It's going to be bananas.
Yeah.
And if there's trades and moves made.
Fans of every team. Don't they have fans of every team kind of show up for these?
Yeah, I don't know if they also just hand out merch.
Yep, merch.
Yeah, there's a good chance that's fine. There's a good chance.
How many were in Nashville and Philly and stuff? Like hundreds of thousands?
778,000.
Yep.
I heard they're expecting like 60, 70,000 for Detroit.
Tony.
That'd be one.
That's a lot of people, man.
That'd be 1/10 of what they were saying at the other places.
Yeah.
Detroit's back.
Yeah, I was told
Same as
hotels
Nashville.
have been sold out for months, if not years. All five
For
of them.
shoot.
Because
Oh,
good calls.
Cito.
Yeah, it took the words out of my mouth.
Jesus, Cito.
I didn't hear him.
He said all 5 of them, talking about the lack of hotels is maybe the issue with the rooms, not so much the rooms that need to be rented.
I can't wait for you guys to see it.
I love Detroit.
Yeah.
Me too.
Everyone says it's back. Everyone says it's great. I haven't been in a couple of years, I think. Everyone I talk to says, oh, no, you're going to
Was it
love
Greek time? Greek Town?
Yeah, Greek Town's where a casino is. I actually don't know if Greek Town's the hot spot anymore.
Oh, I love Greek Town.
Yes, it's a
mostly
great
because the
time.
casino is.
Yes.
I'm a pretty simple human being. Where's the casino? I know there's at least good vibes, good action, and a chance to get rich, and then there's stuff right next door there. Are we back downtown now? Is everybody downtown?
Yeah, I was down there for the divisional game of the playoffs, and it was just a madhouse. Like, it was absolutely crazy. Good vibes. Everyone was having a good time.
Maybe we can have a picnic by the DETROIT sign.
Yes, great idea.
A picnic.
That thing's huge.
As Connor Orlovsky's into the microphone.
Or we could just not do that anything in Detroit. We could just hang out as a team somewhere and then get the fuck out of there on Friday.
No, it's going to be awesome up there.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did this.
It's awesome.
Well, I can believe it, actually.
Welcome to Detroit City.
Yeah, see, that's what would be cool. If they had Detroit Rock City on speakers blasting beneath it the entire 365. Yeah, 24/7, 365. That song is blasting from that.
That's actually a good photo of that, too.
Yeah.
Where is that?
With all that yellow shit?
Yeah, people are saying that's the most Detroit thing that has ever happened to
You
Detroit
mean
right
the
there.
the temp fences? Those are nice.
Brutal.
They'll take those down.
Why those?
Is it brutal? What's so negative about
Oh,
the city?
everyone hates it. Absolutely everyone hates it.
Everybody in Detroit hates
Yes,
it.
it's terrible. You should have seen the renderings. The renderings, it was the biggest sign ever. And then
Oh,
they
no,
came
we
out
got
with
a
that.
bison issue with
Oh, big time. The renderings made it look
notes.
so awesome. And then they did that.
Classic renderings.
Oh, no.
It's going to cost so much fucking money. Let's just spend like $200.
Oh,
then.
yeah.
They got to look at all the cement. Think
Yep.
about how big this.
That still costs a bunch of money.
Yes, the cement going into the side of a hill. Yeah, I think that would probably cost.
Does it light up? Can it change colors and do all kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, everyone essentially thinks that someone got swindled and made a bunch of money off this thing.
Oh, no, it wouldn't happen.
Oh,
not, not in our society.
No, there's 4 brothers that would put a stop to that.
Yeah,
bingo. And they reside in Detroit. 3 of them. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
We got to go to the 200-story Little Caesars
was
building
good.
downtown.
Look at that. That does look
200.
cool. You
200.
guys
Oh,
don't think
sweet,
it's like
man.
the AI statue thing?
Well, I'll have Zeke pull up the rendering because the rendering made it look insane.
The rendering is always the.
It's a sign. How can it be insane?
You'll see.
Well, they got bison and lions running out.
They sold it like it's going to be the Hollywood sign. That is not the Hollywood sign.
Well, Dan Campbell was holding the T on his,
On
the
his
first
back.
T on his
Yeah.
back.
Like Damian Priest.
Yeah, bingo. Bingo.
Oh, yeah.
All right. If this goes in, we will
Give away the sign.
we'll give away this City of Detroit
There we
sign.
go. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It does
That
look
would have been
awesome.
sick.
You got to build the hill up. They got to build the berm
Well, the
up.
grass
What
is
are we
pretty.
doing?
The grass is pretty spot on, actually.
That would have been so sick.
That is cool, man.
That's the size of the fucking building in the background.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
And look at the design of it has like texture and
that's tough.
grit, seemingly.
Oh, yeah.
And then this other one. Oh,
I mean, it's
my.
close.
How tall are the letters? Like 3 feet?
Look at this fucking truck.
That semi truck, yeah.
I mean, that truck is that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Detroit rappers were making actual
Five.
diss tracks
5 of them
against the
things.
new sign.
Hey, look at that.
Who, Big Sean?
Against each other? Yeah.
The backdrop.
No, against the sign.
Look at this fucking backdrop right here. This fucking walking bridge.
Oh, yeah, behind that sign is just a bunch of, like, really run-down houses.
How about the flat top up on the mountain? We are
Perfect.
the kings.
Yeah.
This thing's fucking
Yeah. We didn't move any earth for this one.
not at all. We'll dig down. We can't add dirt, which is very
Jeez.
easily done. That is a landscaping job.
Yeah.
You build up a hill. That is something you can do. Especially if you need to put these in. It's just like planting a plant. You put that fucker down there and you put dirt
Yep.
and you build it up. Nah, fuck it. And look at this. Individual towers for the letters make them look weak.
Yep.
Yeah, those things are. That would have been so cool.
They did not execute. I'm sure they'll say they had budget issues come up or
Yeah.
something. They did not
100%.
execute what they should.
I mean, nobody will be held accountable for this.
No.
Ever. And we'll all move on knowing that the Detroit sign is certainly one that
Yep.
we should take a photo with.
Yep.
We-
Like, do
we
you think
have
that was
to.
Plan B or, like, Z?
Z-ish.
Everyone just goes back to the Detroit government being, like, the most corrupt government of all time. I don't know what they did, but...
Oh, White Boy Rick.
Yeah, and that, and, like, I forget the whole
water
story, but
thing.
there's so many stories about this.
Somebody
Detroit's back.
Somebody got so much money.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
this was plan A.
Yes.
If we're talking about
$20 million.
ABC.
This is like a Lanza Bridge that we saw.
It's not fraud. It's not fraud.
No.
It's false advertising.
Yep.
Quote the great Ja Rule.
They should have got one of the billionaires to just take it on their hands. They would have made it awesome. Ishbia, the Fords, you name it. They could have made this cool, but
Fords. Sheila Ford Ham.
Sheila Ford
Sheila
Ham.
Ford Ham.
Not the whole.
not Martha.
Not all.
Sheila Ford Ham.
Right.
All right, we'll give that tee away.
Boom.
The second tee.
Yep.
If this ball goes in,
Drain it.
oh my God, I wanted to so bad. I was focusing. All right, we'll give the D away.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
This ball goes in.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Ball punch.
There's a lot of us excited to give that D away.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go.
Did you see Roger Goodell do the D?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. Bam, 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 bam.
With Eminem, him and Eminem going back and forth.
Yeah, they're real acting in there.
Yeah.
Good chemistry,
I thought it was just organic. I didn't think they were acting. I thought that was like behind the scenes.
You're right. That was probably before the actual taped one.
Yeah, I didn't know the camera was on.
Yeah, that's just, hello there.
Man.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got another one.
You're damn right, AJ.
Wide.
Boom.
All right. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
Universe Talk, we can't give away any letters in the Detroit Sun. We'll be out of here for about 20 hours or so, 21 hours. And tomorrow's show is going to be
unbelievable.
the best draft spectacular Eve show we've ever had, AJ. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, people are going to vandalize that Detroit sign. I hate to say it.
No, they sprayed it down with some non-sticking lacquer.
Yep, they made it smell.
Yeah. I mean, you take a shoulder to it, you're knocking one of those letters off clean.
I don't think they're going to vandalize it. They already feel too bad for it.
Yeah, and it's about the city. You think anybody in Detroit wants to vandalize anything about Detroit?
That
Absolutely.
thing is going to have so much graffiti all over it.
I'm assuming there's going to be dongs all over.
Dongs everywhere. Dongs all over.
And put them in the Coltrane casing, probably going forward, every single letter.
They put glass or cage around it. Yeah, but then that glass is just going to become dong houses.
Yep.
You shouldn't throw stones if you live in a dong house. No. And that's what all these.
They say that.
That's what all of these letters will become for sure if you put a glass cage around them. What a bad decision. What that is. The people of Detroit don't deserve that.
No, they don't.
Should have scrapped it. They should have scrapped it. Just say, all right, it's not going to be anything what we thought. But did they rush to get it done before the draft because they thought this was going to be the big piece?
I don't know.
If only they would have known the draft was coming earlier.
You know, with these deadlines and how things go. They tried to get those first letters that were in the thing. They found out 2 months before the draft they couldn't, so they had to.
It's never going to fucking work.
Yeah. Somebody got a lot of money out of it, though. And you know what? Congrats to them. Congrats to them. We'll take a picture with this whenever we get up there. We can't wait for that. Tomorrow's going to be a big one. You're the greatest people on earth. Let's get the hell out of here as we continue to follow along with the sports world that is never stopping being awesome. Thank you to hockey. Thank you to basketball. 7 games tonight. 7.
Go.
AJ.
Need the deal, like Puka, and you put them all up, and I lay on my back, and I can watch everything.
It's Apple Vision.
Yeah, you can kind of.
I couldn't. I did that Oculus. I get them mixed up because on Oculus you can do a similar thing. I heard as well.
Yeah.
Quad box has got.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Oculus you could.
Yeah.
The new Oculus or does the original? Because I have the original guy.
You need the new.
Not the original.
I think you need the new. This is the new world, AJ. We're all just going to be living in.
Welcome to it.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Sounds amazing.
Don't get left behind.
Well, you can't even search on Instagram anymore. AI is going to be reading your brain.
Yeah, I saw that. Finally did.
Already are.
All right, I want to see some. Are they using my camera to read my eyes?
Yeah, they're using your face,
100%.
So they know your facial expressions.
You can tell
because they know your face ID.
So, like, if I'm bummed out,
and your brow just furrows just a little, they know.
Yep.
They're like, let's put on a happy song.
Show this guy happy puppies.
Yep.
That's what AI is about to be.
Yep.
Or it already is.
The daily Spotify playlists are very cool. They make like 4 for you a day.
Thank you to AI.
Yep.
Okay.
There's going to be benefits to this, I think.
Yeah.
For sure. The good things.
I did not expect the amount of potential bad things, though. You know, I'm an optimist.
Well, with every good comes a bad.
Yeah. That's the equal and opposite reaction thing.
Yeah.
Who was that said that?
Newton. Isaac Newton.
Sir Isaac.
Newton was chirpy, wasn't he? He knew a lot.
Oh, yeah, a bunch of laws. Yeah.
He knew.
Chirpy.
He was. He said, hey, I figured this out.
I didn't know him, but it does sound like he was.
I don't know a lot of other motherfuckers from that time.
Galileo, another chirpy son of a bitch.
They were talking. Hey, we got this figured out. Einstein, alive, much more recent than any of us could have fathomed.
Yeah.
Thought this was potentially Einstein's time. Instead, this is Newton's time.
It was the hair.
I do worry about the humans back then, the way they dressed and looked and did stuff.
What do you mean?
Boy, that's a whole other can of worms.
Well,
imagine dressing like that all summer long.
Yeah, well,
all summer you're buttoned up and wearing full like suits all summer, and you're not taking showers.
And no offense to any of them, they're all dead. But think about how dumb. Oh my, knew nothing. Just nothing at all that we know now. And I assume people 20 years from now will look back on us and talk about how dumb. But if you think about the advancements and communications and information traveling and misinformation. It's like maybe they were smarter because they didn't have to learn all the bullshit either. I couldn't even fathom what they did on a day-to-day basis. The amount of monkey butt just on the day-to-day.
Gross.
Think about that.
Just the smell. The
Chafing
stench.
everything. All day, every day. Think about
I'm
every
showering twice a week.
You think?
They're sitting down a lot, aren't they? They're fucking sitting down a lot. There's a lot of sitting.
A lot of writing. You think Nate Bargatze has a skit, a joke? You think if you went back in time that you could prove you were from the future?
With nothing. Like not like you can't bring anything back with you. Just you go back in time. How could you prove you were from the future?
Interesting.
I couldn't.
Just
Like,
get it.
His thing is like, wait till you see these cell phones, and they're gonna be like, how do they work? And you're like, I don't fucking know.
And then it's also 100 years from now.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
You get to pick when you're going back.
Like what era?
I think he said like the 1600s.
If you pick a natural disaster that you know it's going to happen, that's.
Yeah, but it has to happen in the 1600s.
Do you know any? Yeah, you
wouldn't
know any of the coming in the
Well,
60s?
if you go back in time, you know what date you're going.
it? Oh, so you're doing a little advanced research.
Oh, I mean, if you do research, sure. But if you're
Okay,
just
and
out
like
of nowhere,
3 years from when I'm going back there, this is what's going to happen. I need to lay out my story, and I can do that. I guess that would be the
yeah, if you get to do research, if you knew about it.
Yeah, they'll burn you alive and call you a witch, though.
Yeah,
so.
as soon as
that
it
has to happen
happens.
quick.
Yeah, that's why I think it was Tony. One of us we were talking about like you just need to build a basketball and then just start playing basketball. Be like, what the fuck?
How you gonna build the
is
basketball?
going on?
In the 1600s, we just got to get a rock of some sort.
You just got to figure out, just a bounce,
Put
something
some
that
grass
bounces
around it.
Exactly.
Pig bladder.
Yep.
Sports. You just start introducing new sports.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a new idea today.
Just play catch.
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do that? You just throw.
Yeah, watch.
Did they throw back then?
No.
Yeah,
Just I guess they stoned people to death.
That guy would be so bummed out.
Yeah, they threw
stoned people.
spears. hundreds of
Naismith's
yards.
name wouldn't be known at all. Who created basketball? Anthony DiGiulio.
Yeah.
When 1606. First one to ever do it.
And they burned him at the stake after he invented the alley oop.
That is a good question. How long do you have to stay? Do you have to stay forever?
I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't even just to stay. It was just, can you prove?
So you're getting dropped in there, and you got 24 hours to prove that you're from the
Tough.
future.
That's tough.
Even,
That's a tough task.
Even a week. Like, take a month.
I mean, haircut.
No, you're crazy. Everyone's calling you crazy. They're killing you within like 2 hours.
Yeah, you're an alien or a witch.
You're completely crazy. Yeah.
You got to play it cool for a bit. You got to win some people over in the first 24 hours.
What kind of clothes are you wearing? Your clothes from the future?
No.
No, I'm getting their clothes as soon as I get there.
Another thing.
What if you have
of his was,
tattoos though?
Like
you can get some tattoos before you go that say stuff, and then they can't take those off.
Someone from that time goes,
plots of
okay,
Prison
well,
Break?
who's the next president? You go, I don't know. To be
Do we
honest.
have those yet? Did we get a president yet? How does that even?
What time are we at? Where are we going?
It was a time of presidents, so 1800s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if that's the case, you just find some guy who's going to get killed the next day in a battle, like Concord and Lexington, and be like, hey, this guy, guess what? He's getting a fucking cannonball through his chest tomorrow.
And
it happens.
Then you're a witch.
No, then they're like, Jesus Christ.
They might say that actually. Jesus.
They might. This guy's Jesus Christ. How are we going to win this war? How are
What
we
if they
going to
turn
beat
you
the
into a
Redcoats?
god? Yeah. What if you get turned into some sort of god-like figure if you're doing it? March 4th, 1801, Thomas Jefferson takes his seat as third U.S. president, where he will stay until 1809.
Yeah, we're poking massive holes through Bargatze's question. This is just go back.
This was
you
the
can't.
scenario.
Yeah, you can't. You
you're
wake
not
up
doing
tomorrow and you are in 1850.
And I have to prove that I am not.
Prove in that day that
You
you're
didn't know
from
you
the
were
future.
going back. Yeah.
I don't know if I could.
No.
There's no. There might not be a way to do it.
Yeah. To truly convince you, people are going to have faith.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what it
dead
is.
every single time.
Like
Every time you die.
biting your nails, perhaps. Like, is that something they never did back
They
then?
definitely did that. That feels like one of the first.
I thought they just grew them out all gross.
You just brush your teeth.
Yeah, that.
You can invent
Okay,
whole noodle.
I need to brush my teeth.
Oh, bring
this
back
morning.
a pocket pussy.
I don't think you're allowed to just. Well, bring an
Look
iPhone.
what I got!
Okay, if we're gonna do it, we'll bring an iPhone. Me personally, you can do what
That's
you
a
want.
good second option.
You can do what you need to do. See, let's get out of here.
Yeah, feels like that's.
How you going to hide that thing to get it through?
What do you mean?
All right,
know how.
Scott,
I think you know how.
All right, AJ.
Oh, man. That was not what I thought you were going to say.
I don't think anybody knew what was coming out there from Zito, but if we could take things, I think that is quite an advantage.
Would that prove it? That's not proving anything.
I think dudes would be like, "Holy,
Oh my God! Who is this
How'd
man?
you get that, sir?
this guy's from a different planet."
Make him king today.
That might be your quickest way to becoming royalty.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
But there's only one, though, for the whole Earth back in 1800.
Invent the dishwasher.
You can have it.
Oh, God.
Info
Take it to President Jefferson right now.
He needs to experience.
Show him the pocket pussy. Now.
Don't you think, like, the way we speak, though, will certainly be.
That'll definitely garner power.
That would garner power.
If there's one way to power.
Speaking of pow and the guy you guys referenced earlier in the show,
Yeah.
I think he's going to end up with it.
He has possessed power.
I think so.
Yeah.
When that becomes a goal, and then it becomes a grabbable thing, people are going to go get that.
Is his wagon still lashed to the same horse?
I think he's got a couple horses. He's like Joker now.
Okay.
He's got numerous horses that are racing. He doesn't even want to go to victory parades. He wants to go there.
Perhaps. Then.
7 sports events this evening. We'll watch them all. Tomorrow we'll be reacting, and then we'll be getting ready for the Draft Spectacular on Thursday night with the Draft Spectacular kickoff starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, being hosted by Bill Belichick, who has called one time today during the show.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so he's plugged in, he's dialed in, he's coding. We'll
He's
see.
antsy.
He has so much information.
Encyclopedia.
Never-ending supply. I cannot wait. He just drops like stories of something that happened literally 30 years ago in the middle of a conversation to make a point, and it's like, I can't wait for this to happen on draft night. It's going to be fantastic. We're lucky to do it. Because of all of you, we're able to live the dumbest lives of all time. We're eternally grateful. That starts on Thursday. We're back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together, all right? Never forget it. On this particular earth, whether it's the 1800s or 2024, the mindset should remain the same. We got to live here together.
That's right.
And if we're here together, we might as well enjoy the hell out of it. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.